You ever want a stuffed animal that barks, looks good in pink, spits on their opponent?
Oh,
Look no further than Melophobia and Jeff the Land Shark.
That was pretty good. Okay, no gagging sounds. We might have some sensitive listeners out there, but
Whoa, who is gagging? Welcome in, everybody.
that's what I heard. I don't know what you guys did.
We got Uber, we got Mr. X, whatever you guys are here for, we're happy to have you. We got FlyQuest and Shroud X loading up here on Rivals Fight Night. And Mr. X, don't make me bust out the arm pad, okay?
Right,
Don't get weird on me this early.
The bottom of frame, like, can't you just bring it in from the side or something less? Like, Alec, surely. Why is it always like this?
Let's get into our squads. All right, shall we?
yeah, there we go.
Game time.
Yeah. There's a nice little article in the back about esports.
Yeah, that's LeBron James. That guy right there. He still plays, right? Is he done?
That's true. That's true. No, he's technically,
Jack?
he's eliminated, but he's still playing. Where?
All right, we'll see if he signs up next year. Let's take a look here at our squads because FlyQuest ain't going nowhere. Not with energy on this team. He's the only player I remember from week 2.
True.
But he's still on the squad, and he is still frying. He showed us he could do more than just Hella. But Audio's filling in instead of Light last week was the big surprise. Uber, I'll let you break this team down.
Yeah, okay. I really like them. They were the kind of team that tried, I think, to play the Human Torch and were able to make it look pretty good on occasion. But the matchup that Shroud X had to deal with, especially in the Challenger game, it was challenging for Adios, but they're very good. They are more than deserving to be on this team. And they're excellent. Spark Chief continues to show us some great performances. Vess, a newer addition, played a lot of Emma Frost, and we really like what we saw there. And Kubatastic is the greatest gamer to ever fire up a PC. Look out for these, Fate of Both Worlds, and basically just that. But yeah, they're here to take over the game. They put a lot of Loki as well, and pretty on point. So jokes aside, Cooper's definitely someone to watch here. This team's looking good. I don't know what they're doing with their duelists. Like if Light comes back in here, still on the roster, was the captain, right? Kind of leading this team. But they were sort of busy last week. They had collegiate esports sort of had to be out for that. So maybe that's done. Maybe they come back. I've known Light for years. I think me and Matt actually met him in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania when we went out there. So that goes back a fair bit when he was playing for the Storm. So yeah, got a good head on his shoulders and always is good at that. It always has been good, against those dive flanker style duelist heroes in all games, including Rivals.
And chat, let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I was told Light was coaching an Overwatch team at that event. So it's pretty cool that he's a current player and then has the brain for another hero shooter. So
he's a Maryville alumni, right? So he has been part of the biggest
big time gamers
programs. Yeah.
All right, so that's Light. That's FlyQuest. On the other side, we got Shroud X, who you just saw a small sample of. We didn't get our game 5. I thought it might go there after dropping an early one. They rattled off 3 dubs with Doomed leading the way. Vision on the Iron Man has been one of our happy surprises of the evening. And then Impunity showcasing he's more than a group. His Hulk was much better in the 1v1s versus Crazebank.
Yeah, he was sick in the series as it went on there for Shroud X. I am curious if we do see some more flyers in this series as opposed to what we saw in the last one. Like Human Torch, we didn't see at all. I think it was banned out a few times, potentially. Yeah. I think it was Shroud X who got rid of it. Yeah, I think Shroud X gets rid of it first, like every game. So we'll see if that kind of continues to be the story here. But look, if Shroud X can kind of get rid of that Human Torch off the rip every single time, keep it to something of what we saw in that first series, obviously looking pretty good.
Shroud X, they take their time choosing their maps and modes. FlyQuest, have they taken their 5 hours to decide where they want to play and with who on the predetermined map mode, Krakoa, as we go in to our best of 5. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for bans and protects, and if the players aren't ready, what do you guys want to talk about? Uber, what are you going to have for dinner after the show?
I've been eating actually. So I've been eating while the graphics have been coming up, but I don't want to talk about it because it's really not exciting. I just ate a meal that consisted of ground beef, sweet potato, and spinach leaves. That's it. That's what I do.
Is that a meal prep?
Yeah, no, bro.
the whole week?
The people's cut is in full swing. I'm telling you, we're getting them results. Yeah.
It's like a
Brazil,
prison
look
diet.
out. My man is heading down south soon. Torch out of the action on the other side. FlyQuest.
Always the one, big guy.
Any BBLs up? Not on group. All right, let's take a look here at our protect Matt. It's going to be a captain.
Dude, when Cap's in, he is just a nuisance for the backline. We've seen it like constantly where when the Cap comes into play, just diving in onto the supports back there. The Human Torch, a consistent ban there for Shroud X, and then they'll end up protecting the Iron Man.
Yeah.
So keeping the Iron Man still in the mix.
They just want to have a flyer option, I think.
Yeah.
I think that the Cap is a real problem for Heller to deal with because he just runs at you with his shield up and you just go, okay, yes, 3 bags full, sir. I don't have really anything to sort of do here. So that's also an option. I do think though, like if you want to pick yourself into an Iron Man mirror, that's fine, but it gets really volatile. So that means if you don't want to play Heller, if you don't want to try and counter the Iron Man with some kind of hit scan, but don't forget, Shroud X also the kind of team that can play that Punisher on some of these maps. So keep an eye out for that.
But historically, as we know, I know obviously a lot of us working these hero shooter games, teams tend to sway hard against variables coming into play and randomness. They try to limit it as much as possible, even going to the lengths of just doing the same thing over and over again against each other. So we'll see. The Psylocke
Rocket
get
Raccoon protected.
Ooh, okay.
Bring him out, Doomed. Let's see it. Show me some pun.
Is this really a Punisher?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so on Grove, I think you can carousel. It's a bit claustrophobic to play.
So
it could be Barky.
Get rid of the Emma. There's no Groot. There's no Mag. So they're saying, okay, come at me with your Venom, I'll shotgun you. Come at me with your thing, I'll blast you.
Yeah.
Who else are you coming at me? Like, you don't have any shields unless you run in.
Banner.
Yeah, Hulk and Cap, I think it might end up
Hulk
being.
Cap, yeah.
What else do we...
And then the Hulk gets shredded by pun if done right.
Yes,
could be quite
exactly. We
interesting,
saw
yeah.
that on Hall of Jaleo, right? With like the attacking Hulk was just not able to get any purchase. It's really rare, I think, to see 3 Vanguards banned and 1 protected. So we're looking really closely at that. I do like that FlyQuest just make sure that the Adam Warlock synergy is taken off the table as well. That's pretty clever.
Psylocke also chunks down that Bruce Bam. Keep your eyes on a Hulk. Does he make it through? Map number 1, Mr. X. Take it away.
I think it's also fascinating. I knew.
You knew he wouldn't let you have it. You knew it.
I knew he wasn't gone. I could hear when he threw to me. I could hear the slight giggle in his voice, and I knew
I could hear the smile. You know.
Okay, so are they going to play Strange here? So we talked about, we saw it in our first series, right? With Strange used in kind of garbage time in TPs where it just got owned by the Emma Frost, but Emma Frost obviously not in this. So potentially it's Strange to have a shield option, like a static shield option combined with a cap. So we'll see if that stays true here for FlyQuest as Shroud X. They'll also be playing the Strange, but not with a cap. They'll be using the Hulk. Gives obviously that Teemo with Namor.
It's interesting. Like I would have thought the mag ban would be enough to dissuade you from playing Star-Lord, right? Because you don't have a shield for those blaster barrages. But FlyQuest took it a step further and took the Adam Warlock out. So yeah, they really tried to force. This sort of scenario with the Doctor Strange going head to head in the middle of the map. Impunity here. Obviously, like Hulk can sort of walk up on Strange and just kind of beat the bejeebers out of him. So you're going to see that a lot. Frontline pressure is going to be 2 tanks just sort of clashing together. Energy is going to be on the Psylocke here, but Doom looks comfortable in that matchup. Light, though, is in the game, back on the FlyQuest squad, and he'll be playing the Iron Man.
And we'll see the damage that he's able to put down from up above. As Spark Chief able to take out Doomed right away, but going to get res right back in the mix there by the Beacon of Nook.
Oh, so nice. Spark Chief, such good looks here so far. See what else they can do, though. Doom's been mostly unattended now, and decent chunk damage coming out on towards this Doctor Strange with Vez. Okay, well, Dance of the Butterfly seems to be active here. Energy popped it. Looks like it didn't really amount to much in the end, trying to dash away for the health pack, and Doom will chase them down. So it is Shroud X favored now with a bit of priority, and I think the Hornet Proteus will probably seal the deal.
Yeah, it's Cooper-tastic there with the ultimate for FlyQuest. So you don't have, it's pretty much both of those traded out there for either team, those Luna Snow ultimates. So Shroud X will get control of the point first. What do you think about the Rocket Raccoon in the mix here, right? Not the team up here with the Punisher, but I do think, though, Rocket is, it's a lot easier to get away from, like, a Cap if he's diving you, for instance.
Very platonic, for sure.
Extremely platonic. Yeah. I agree, Matt. I think it's probably for that mobility. I also think that, like, you know, you do lose a healing ultimate, but being able to BRB someone back into the fight is really powerful. And also your Cap kind of gives you a pseudo healing ultimate with the overshield that comes in, is being illustrated for us right about now. Spark Chief keeps his freedom charge active. Doom again tries to get a little bit of altitude, but Dongmin is out of the fight. FlyQuest in a pretty good spot here. Impunity goes for a Hulk smash here. This will stall things out pretty significantly. That's it, really.
Yeah, are you able to get back with like a, potentially do you have like the TP up to be able to get back? No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, so you see kind of coming back. Yes, Coopertastic with a 2K there towards the end. I actually agree with the what we were talking about before with the pick of the Rocket. Like you do give up a support ultimate, like you mentioned, in terms of just like HPS output, but I think just like the ability to be alive more, or the higher chance to being alive more and not having to have the rest of the team adjust to you getting dove, I think is more than worth it. As looks like actually one player there got stunned, but they're not able to finish him off.
Okay, so we are off the Strange, off the Iron Man entirely for Shroud X here. Vision thinking that it's about sort of denying this pressure towards them, maybe just like chunk Spark Chief down as they try and move up. But Shroud X have been pushed off the point here in his first round of Krakoa. And Light is holding on to a pulse cannon shot.
And you do have the team up here with Vision and Impunity, but I'm wondering if potentially we see a Hela to deal with this Iron Man from the Shroud X side, as Light trying to get into a position here to use this Iron Man ultimate. See if he can come up with something massive, just working down that shield. That's a shield from his Invisible Woman as well. Yeah.
So much to sort of shut it down. Okay, Dance the Butterfly. That's a Namor gone. Now you can play so much more aggressively. You can push into Shroud X. Stacking this fight out, maybe. Horn of Proteus is at the ready for Vision. They're trying to keep eyes on Light, who's been kiting fairly effectively. I think he got stunned. Light goes for a pulse cannon and got interrupted mid-air. He gets half of it refunded, but that's pretty brutal stuff. Spark Chief shield up, trying to get the heck out of there. Horn of Proteus still in the back pocket here for the side of Shroud X. Doom wants to come forward now. Freedom charge is out of Spark Chief, though. Bit of overshield goes a long way against this Dance of the Butterfly that Coopertastic is able to get out of.
You can see Fidel actually land that right click, being able to stun Light out of the sky there. So saving up that FlyQuest big Iron Man ult. Looked like it would have had a great opportunity to pick up a kill or two. Does not come through for FlyQuest, but at the end does not matter. They still take the round, but a sick play by Fidel and Shroud X.
Yeah, I mean, still wasn't quite enough for them in the end. The duelist matchup is really interesting. Vision feels like they need to move over to the Namor, but they don't have control of the point. And obviously, Namor becomes that much more oppressive when you are being pushed into. You have time to set everything up. Feels more defensive. He's definitely anti-dive in nature. Maybe just him trying to match Iron Man's like we saw a lot of in North America last week might have been the play. What do we get from Light here? Known for a multitude of different duelists, maybe made most famous in NA because of the dive style that they played, with the Venom Spider-Man combo when that was sort of good. We might even
hovering the Bucky.
That would be interesting. There is a nice little team up here, obviously between Winter Soldier and Captain America. It gives you some mobility, that little clash when you come together. You both have to confirm, so it's an extra input required, but it is pretty effective.
Oh. TPs for both Stranges. We'll see where they all end up. So everybody's FPS probably, down to 60 at the moment. Those dueling TPs coming on through as the TP basically the same area over to the side by this health pack.
Winter Soldier. So keep an eye out for this. Captain Spirit, it's called. They come together. They sort of, come at the same time, or you can just sort of jump.
Oh. Bumping uglies is what we call it, Mitch.
I don't know if that's the official term. It sounded like what Mitch had mentioned was the official term. What was the name that you said?
Bumping uglies.
Team up is Captain Spirit. Yeah, Captain Spirit.
That sounds a little bit more in line than whatever Bucket said.
It's super nice because Winter Soldier on his own can dash to a teammate like Thing does. And crucially, gives bonus health to people, so like it makes him more supporty. But when you do it with Cap, you basically can slow enemies in an area when you sort of come together. So it has a defensive and like an offensive application, which I quite like. And I like showing here the first Winter Soldier that we've sort of seen today in NA.
And Bucky can be very difficult for like the Iron Man to deal with, right? You know, just putting down damage in like that medium range will actually be an invisible barrier here used from Zillow. So FlyQuest wanted to fight this, but they had already been down 2 players, right? They lost energy early on, and then they lost Vess.
I don't mind the Bucky here because also, you know, there's a lower ceiling, so it's harder to sort of, if you're a flyer, to get out of range of Tainted Voltage, which can sort of drag you down to the ground after a brief period. But you still have to get through the Strange Shield, which can be quite challenging. And Vision can also set up in these really annoying positions, like above the doorway, forced FlyQuest to look up as they come out to deal with him, basically forces FlyQuest to flank. And remember, Roster Stern as a weapon is not hit scan. It looks like it should be, but it is a projector weapon that Winter Soldier has. So you can't always guarantee hits on flyers.
Yeah, like traditional games, it would tell you that it would be like a hit scan, right?
Yes.
But it does have a little bit of lead time, which can be a little... So I think like funky for, you know, new players to pick up. Yeah, because it's like, wait, hold on. Punisher feels like it's hit scan, but this is like a same type of gun, but it's not. Looks like they did a nice job of kind of pushing Shroud X back, though, right? Not allowing Vision to play over in that high ground, you know, force them to go into an area where you can just cause chaos directly above. So force them out a little bit more into the open.
Freedom charge now for FlyQuest. They banked quite a few ultimates here. Dance of the Butterfly will be effectively nullified by Spark Chief's extra overshield that's been conferred. Agamotto not too shabby. Energy down, and well, that's the cannon that does not quite connect. There's a Kraken impact in play, but there's not enough damage to trigger any sort of resets for Light, and he knows it. Both of those Lunar Snows pop ultimates in the middle of the fight, but Light is the one that's lacking teammates, and Dongmin eventually just runs him over.
Yeah, even with a few players, you know, hit by that Kraken impact, no resets there, not enough damage, right? It's going to be the fate of both worlds used by both supports at that moment. And Shroud X, man, on this Iron Man, they are just rolling them, looking like a completely different team than round 1.
Yeah, I think they got to a great start. I do think that the Winter Soldier probably isn't great here. So Light is going to switch over to the famous Spider-Man pick here towards the end of the round. Keep an eye on the mechanics because they are pretty impressive, but also you're really running out of time, so you better make this work.
Could be something, though, potentially you want to kind of keep for the remainder of this series is connects with a shot, goes in. Not going to be enough to finish the kill off, though, here. So just trying to mark some targets and then collapse onto them.
Yeah, consistently marking Vision here, by the way. Here we go. Now we should be able to put some pressure down on the back line. Vision trying to relocate, but Light already had him stuck. So majestically floating over the battlefield here. Fidel, of course, is uppercut into next Tuesday. So FlyQuest do come up with the answers.
Some sick movement from Light on the Spider-Man already. I wonder, what was he going to do? I thought maybe going to potentially like kind of switch, but it actually looked like he was going to chase kill down the opposite way. So we're going to have that Spider-Man ult coming into this next fight. And you see constantly, right, even when he doesn't have the kind of graphs to go in after marking a target, still just marking targets and putting damage down, right? Just getting that buff.
He started the last fight at 45 ult charge.
Yeah. Yep. And now, of course, we have access to Spectacular Spin. But again, like, you know, obviously there's huge bonuses to sticking those traces, but you have to have both good movement and good aim here on a Spider-Man. So it does ask a lot from you. Right now, Shroud X don't feel like they really can deal with it at all. Amazing combo there without a mark, so no damage boost there for Light. But just trying to mark people inside this, swing through it, see if anyone gets caught. Holding onto this Spectacular Spin, which in a pinch could be pretty devastating for Shroud X. They don't have both of their strategist healing ultimates available. So we'll see how it plays out now. Pulse Cannon here for Vision, though. Who can he shut down? Maybe a Spider-Man caught inside that ultimate animation. He might be holding onto this for the time being. There's Cooper-tastic's fate of both walls that will send FlyQuest forward. Agamotto comes in. No connection. None. That's rough for Vess.
And Shroud X kicks things off with impunities, Captain America ult, and then it's going to be answered by Cooper-tastic's fate of both worlds. So FlyQuest tries to push back into it. They use Spark Chief's ultimate towards the end there, but just a better trade there for Shroud X, right? Being able to use your cap ult to get out the fate of both worlds, then using Fidel's ultimate to just push back into them when they have no support ultimate. That is a trade you will take every time if you're Shroud X.
Oh, that could have been ugly.
Yeah.
Here comes the portal, though. FlyQuest comes through, and that pulse cannon did not connect for Vision. And honestly, you might wish he had that one back, because Fidel's would have been taken down. Agamotto blocked out mostly, but Energy still got caught by it. Zelos is down. Impunity batters them, but Light is in this fight and gets rid of the enemy Iron Man. Dead to the butterfly for Dooms. Might have come a little bit too late in the day, but Spark Chief and Light both fall. Man. It's a high-value ultimate, but it's just not enough.
Dude, if you would have hit that, Vision Pulse Cannon through that TP, you could have potentially even denied that invisible barrier that came through. That is a huge kill, though, chasing down Energy.
Invisible done.
This is doomed.
Able to pick him off. Now, I mean, Vest here, essentially solo. I think Light is in the vicinity, perhaps. He's going to have to ultimate to try and save the game. Here come the reinforcements now. Light gets in there. Here's the spin. Going to be mostly shielded off. That's why Strange still has plenty of application. Take the health pack now. Try and fight with Doomed. It's a little bit tough. Combo comes in after the Tracer's stuck, but Impunity gets there. Light gets ganged up on now. FlyQuest make a decent fight of it here, but they are in deep, deep trouble. Invest may not have any room to use this Eye of Agamotto whatsoever. That turns out to be the case.
The butterfly.
Okay,
Energy's going to get 2. You're also going to get close here to Cooper Tastic's Fate of Both Worlds. He's going to be able to get it online.
Oh, but not before Energy goes down. Still, FlyQuest able to fight here. Vision has to respect this. Even with the overshield, you've got to watch out. And there's Light takes him down as he tries to go for a pulse cannon shot. Dooms now. Fate of Both Worlds gets Light at least. Can there be more? Cooper with Ice Arts trying to fend them off, but Doom finds a nice little 3-piece to what should seal the deal, but Spark Chief is tanky. And neither Doomed or Impunity can easily deal with him. Freedom Charge now is going to drag this fight out a little bit longer. Vest now gets back on the scene. Strange is in the battlefield. Spark Chief stunned up midway through the charge, but will still be giving Overshield out to teammates. Energy download to the Unibeam of Vision. Eye of Agamotto here for Vest, but still no chance to use it. He gets chunked far too low. Vision's under extreme duress from Light here, who's all over the battlefield except where he needs to be, which was on the point. After all said and done, Cradle goes the way of Shroud X.
I mean, that last fight went back and forth, where every time it felt like Shroud X was going to walk away with it there towards the end and hold on. FlyQuest comes in with some ultimates, battles back. Then it's Doomed coming in with a 3K there towards the end, which is really what sealed the deal there for Shroud X. So they battle back in that second round.
Rivals Fight Night
final round here.
Can we take a moment and just appreciate that round? Hop into chat, spam some emotes, and if you haven't yet, hit the follow button. We saw a Spider-Man,
and use a Prime.
And I didn't hate it. I enjoyed the Spider-Man.
At this level, this gets pointed out in chat actually. Someone brings it up, but yeah, I mean, Invader. I don't know how many teams have like pocket Spider-Mans at this level. They spend a lot of their time like drilling down on the Psylocks or the Wolverines. So it's pretty rare to find someone that, you know, can bust it out. And it was decent from Light, right? But unfortunately against Strange, when you're like 1v4, it's really hard to get value. But some of the Assassinates were pretty good. This is the kind of map also, you know, Carousel, where you can be a bit of an annoying presence on the diver. But Wolverine, a bit more common, and Light has gone in that direction.
Best has his Eye of Agamotto. Same for Dongman coming in to the next round, as we haven't really seen any huge connections with that ultimate in either match here today to kick things off. And we've seen the Strange in play, but
yeah, I mean, you can't shield during it, right? So quite often, like your Strange is so low constant with this like poke pressure that comes in. Vision's on the Bucky, by the way. There's dangerous. Needs the healing. You had to pop this Maelstrom straight away, I think, and yeah, good job holding the shot. Pop it there, make sure you can be healed. Okay, the Invisible Boundary comes out. Agamotto not blocked in time. Big hit, but the follow-up, is it going to be there? It's tough. I mean, there's so much healing available to FlyQuest. Best's going to go for one of his own now. Vision with a crack and impact, but Light already made short work of 2 Shroud X players. Now Vision's got nothing to do with the Fate of Both Worlds stuck right up his nose. Still not enough to keep him in the fight.
And it looked like the Eye of Agamotto there from Dungman doesn't actually connect with the Light, and then he's able to just kind of hijack the tank. Then the Wolverine starts to get rolling, and it becomes very difficult to deal with, right? And especially when you go in after that Eye of Agamotto, you don't come up with those kills. The Wolverine is coming the opposite direction there with the Captain America, and they're going after your back line. Very difficult to kind of stay alive on through that. So Shroud X, they lose that first fight. Now Energy's got this Dance of the Butterfly here. Potentially, you can just, I was going to say, maybe you can force that invisible barrier.
All right, here we go. Yeah, it's going to get the barrier straight away. You're exactly right. Also, all right, Freedom Charge being used by Impunity. Maybe an overlap of ultimates that didn't need to be there.
Yeah, not ideal.
And no chance to really make use of it further now. It's a Fate of Both Worlds, sort of traded out for FlyQuest. Now, though, Shroud X are going to be having to deal with Spark Chief's ultimate. Vision pops above here, tries to assassinate that cap, and somehow Spark Chief dodged it even though he was frozen up. That's rough for Vision. That is so rough.
Well, I thought that Shroud X actually had a little bit of a window, right? Because Doomed ends up finding Zelos before Kubertastic is able to get the ultimate off, right? So you have an advantage with an extra support alive, but then they use that Fate of Both Worlds, they use the Cap ult, and they push right on through. And I mean, you see even with the Iron Man ult, seems like Captain America just invincible.
I couldn't believe he survived that. I don't know if he like shook off the stun and shielded it, but I think it
like a quick turn.
Maybe. Yeah, benefit of the doubt always. Light
nice
frozen up, lucky to get out alive. Regenerative healing factor not quite available for another 10 or so seconds, so that could have been the end of the Wolverine. Great healing, good response. FlyQuest is not giving up this carousel. Oh, Dogman, you're in trouble, son. Sliced and diced. Zelos able to find that final blow, and now there's no shield. No shield at all for Shroud X.
Yes, I mean, dude, I feel so bad for some of these tanks playing against a Wolverine. You take like 2 steps up, and then all of a sudden you end up on the opposite side of the map from your team. And like, what do you even do? There's nothing you can even say. As now we're going to get into OT.
Tough to be Doc Strange sometimes in this meta. Oh, and we got another one, buddy. Yep, we got the White Whale. Impunity gets caught. Fly now sitting on a bunch of key ultimates, especially this last stand for Light, but he's saving it for a rainy day. Here's the Eye of Agamotto. Got to respect it. Light getting out of LOS. No catch, no stun. The shield too hard to play into. Dongmin getting caught out there eventually. Light alive. The Freedom Charge from Spark Chief giving a little bit of extra durability. And Dongmin was brought down. Big Eye! 3 players caught out by that one on the side of FlyQuest, but the damage follow-up just isn't there. There's an invisible boundary active for Nuck, saving Shroud X, giving them a chance to get into the round.
I was gonna say, man, like Shroud X, this is like two fights in a row, pretty much, that they've ended up taking out Zelos first. And the first time it doesn't work out in their favor, right? Kubertastic and Spark Chief end up popping off. But that time they finally get it to go in their favor. As Doomed is finding that support pretty frequently.
Yeah. Big shout out to Babazuka, by the way, for the Prime. Thank you for your support. Make sure if you got Primes up there unused, consider using it on us. Keep the lights on here. And Arrivals of Fight Night. 20% encounter for Shroud X, but man, they spend a lot on that fight. Light never really had a chance to meaningfully make use of, or find an opportunity at least for that last stand. So that's up the sleeve, but we are pretty low on those strategy results, Matt.
So yeah, I think like FlyQuest potentially. Are you even thinking about just kind of poking here, building up towards the Dance of the Butterfly, knowing that there's probably not a support ult on the opposite side? Maybe that's what you're going for.
Vision just now has the Pulse Cannon available. Energy, Unibeamed down. Who's doing anything about Doomed right now? Yeah, they got a free fire for a lot of this fight. FlyQuest regroup. They lose light, lose energy. Time to back out.
Both of the Psylocks just playing on an off angle, just farming up the ultimate. The bad thing there for FlyQuest, though, is that Vision ends up taking out energy, right? So you end up losing your Psylocke. You're going to give up like, 20 or so extra % here on the point to Shroud X as they get right back into the game with all 6 ults.
Okay. Here's Light. Looking to get in. Still hasn't used that ultimate. Impunity caught out. Can't quite stick the slash. Trying to get away. Into the Fate of Both Worlds now. Light will be topped straight back up. But there's an Eye of Agamotto hunting, as well as a Freedom Charge now for Impunity. Shroud X are going to hold on to this point for quite some time. Here's the Eye! Comes in. Energy blown to smithereens. Dongwin with the follow-up there. The Maelstrom claims the Psylocke. Light, though, unaffected by it, apparently. Eye of Agamotto unsuccessful for Vest, but Fidel has been removed from the fight. A little bit lated on this invisible barrier. Can a Shroud X make use of it as Spark Chief? He's going to get his team out for now. Pulse Cannon, no good. Vision, no connection on that one. Spark Chief now is back into the fight. Light has been crucial here, keeping these tanks at a low health, and Zelos finds a crucial force physics elimination on Impunity. That's a big one. This should put FlyQuest back in control of the point, Matt.
Yes, Zelos found one really early on the Vision when had that Iron Man ult, so not able to use it in combination with like Eye of Agamotto, and that's going to be enough. So really battle to the end. Both teams playing quite well here in map number 1. Just FlyQuest a little bit too strong at the end.
Strat85 with the sub. Thank you for coming in and using your Prime. Also, FlyQuest with a 1-0. Nice start here, guys. Great opening domination. We're having fun. I like to see Wolverine. In fact, I think Light has now passed Energy as my favorite player on FlyQuest. It may be in North America. He's up there
all
with
of
Terra.
North America.
He's up there with Terra. Terra's my favorite. Number one.
Okay.
Number one,
I
right?
think you started off the show saying Cooper-tastic was your favorite.
No. Cooper and I had some words last week. He needs to be tickled. Humbled.
All right, maybe I won't ask about that.
Cooper was in the chat after game 1, and we gave credit to him, but his teammates more, and so I went rogue.
So we basically went out of the way to give.
And then I paid Cooper Tastic $1,000 because he won.
Yeah.
So at the end, Cooper Tastic had the last lap.
Yeah,
anyway,
it sounds like everybody won.
We're holding some
yeah,
L's.
we got paid.
And some dubs.
Cooper Tastic got paid.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I think we're
Everyone
even.
got paid. Shroud X though, holding an L after that first one. I thought they were going to be able to walk away with it. It went 99 at the end. What was the difference maker in domination, Matt?
I think it was just kind of like the ult usage there towards the end. So much of it comes down to like support ults, and I just thought, I know early on actually, it looked like Shroud X, at least in the final round, right? I would kind of throw away these other 2 rounds but in that final round, it was really, I think, like they were doing a nice job taking out Zelos early on, Doom specifically, but they weren't able to follow it up. And then towards the end, just being able to kind of use those support ults in unison, using that Captain America ultimate, I know kind of like in a pseudo third type of way, right? With some extra shielding, I thought was really effective from FlyQuest.
Yeah. I don't know how many games in the series we're going to see this Puckett with like 3 different Vanguards protected, one banned, one protected. But watching Impunity and SparkG throw down is a pleasure. These guys are very, very good at what they do. 2 of my favorite Vanguard players in the region. So that's something I'm keeping. That was nice from Vision, by the way. But yeah, I'm keeping my eye out on those guys. Light's obviously exciting. I think like the fact that FlyQuest have a pocket Spider-Man that can bust out is great. Obviously, he doesn't really have that synergy with Venom anymore. And Venom's not a great pick in some of these comps, so it's a little bit harder to make that work. But for a time, Dive was really quite successful on the previous patch. So it's not, I'm not ruling it out, right, from being an option. There's a lot of counterplay, and somehow Namor got another team up. So, you know, don't ask me how that happened.
I feel like it's a good specialist to have up your sleeve. That, a Winter Soldier, a Wolverine, they're going to be timeless classics 5 years from now. FlyQuest, excuse me, I ate the whole frog. FlyQuest looking pretty strong with Light back in the lineup. Is there any chance, though, that we see the platonic one, Adios, making his return? Is there a comp that you want him back in? Was he playing Iron Man Uber? I'm trying to remember.
I think Adios was playing the. Am I crazy? The Human Torch? Was that not what we were seeing them play a bunch last week? I think so. I think no. I think Shroud X is just going to keep banning it. Yeah. So I don't think you take the risk, because here's the thing: like, you ban after substitutions, presumably. So you don't want to like sub in a specialist and then have them get banned out and them sort of stuck in the serve. So it's a little bit awkward at the moment in Rivals to sort of do that. In theory, you should probably do bans before subs, but that creates a whole lot
especially because you have 5 maps now of footage today of Shroud X getting rid of the Human Torch every time. So you would assume that would continue, right? So I think, subbing someone in to, try and play that in a series like this.
Matt, as a New York basketball fan, would you rather have Vess or Dongmin as your bodyguard if you were in person in Boston?
If I was in person, okay. So I mean, look,
Vess or Dongmin.
Dongmin. I think the name sounds very imposing, so I would probably say Dongmin. Now that has 0 things to do with their gameplay. In terms of what we've seen, because I thought Vest was pretty good. I mean, same with Dongmin. Dongmin's been good, but just if I was going based off of, I mean, this is strictly off of
if
vibes,
you're going off
right?
of gameplay,
Vest would be pretty good. Can I get impunity though? I mean, I would take it.
Yeah. Well, that was going to be the follow-up question, but if impunity is just your final answer, sorry.
Yeah, no, that would be my final answer. I'd be okay with that.
All right, we got 1,100 viewers and not 1,100 followers in here. Do us a favor, hit that follow button while we wait on the players to get into a lobby to start the ban and protect phase. It normally takes 6 to 7 minutes, but normally it's a 2-minute process in Europe. Uber, North America's catching up. Maybe not in lobby joining, but in gameplay entertainment, we saw a round 3 going 99-99. We only got one of those today from Europe.
I mean, these two have a history of giving us really close games. I think I'm impressed more by Shroud X for keeping it so competitive. I wondered like how they would come back into the fold here into a fight night. I think last time we saw almost like 5 or 6, right? Against the FlyQuest team, who basically handed Sentinels the fattest L I've ever seen them take in fight nights last week. It was not particularly close. Sentinels clearly are retooling their approach, so that's fine. But it means that Shroud X has like been able to get a ton out of this like lead up time practice. We're also in like off season, right? Still waiting for like MRC and any potential MRIs to sort of be put on the map. We obviously know there's a lot to come.
They announced the multi-million-dollar event. We just don't know when we need to start playing.
That's right. I also don't know, when I need to block my calendar out to cast it either. So still.
Oh, are you going to cast that? That's awesome.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That's his goals.
I haven't been approached about it yet.
Oh, Matt, Mr. X, are you going to cast that? That sounds fun too.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if my supreme leader Ubershouts invites me, it just all depends.
I was told that Ubershouts is your supreme leader. That was the start of the show. Gasquin, Spark Chief, no Gasquin anymore. What's going on here? Uber.
Yeah. So
are they improved now?
Well, yes. I also think though that like Spark Chief and Gaskin were people that we really enjoy watching in like that Magneto Groot meta game. When like those were the go-tos where you mix in that. Vest has been incredible. They've looked really, really good. We saw a lot of Emma Frost from them last week. FlyQuest did have to do some retooling after MRC. They probably fell short to some teams that really didn't have any degree of notoriety, and it was quite clear to see that like they were, and we saw it on Fight Night as well, they were still trying to push like the dive style. They were still trying to flex into Venom and play Spider-Man, and just wasn't really coming together. This is a team that I don't think they found their MRC run remotely acceptable pocket. So some changes need to be made. Am I surprised it was Gascoigne that was looked at? Sure, but I mean, it's tough to like point fingers at any one individual on this team. What I can tell you though is that up against the team that won the MRC, like the Sentinels team, they dominated them last week. So clearly something is working right now, or at least they're peaking at a good time.
Things are looking up. On the other side for Shroud X, we'll see what is brought to the table with the bans and protects. We've started a brand new follower goal. That's the type of stuff we're talking about here on Rivals Fight Night.
What's our new follower goal?
You can help us hit that follower goal by hitting the follow button down low. We are just 16 away from making hexagrams happy. And when hexagrams
you don't want to make
happy,
him not happy,
people get fed. Shout out to everyone behind the scenes to make Rivals Fight Night possible. That includes ZP, who is our players communicator. ZP.
Is he?
He does
Andrew.
the deadlock side. I don't know if he handles it on the Marvel side, but
we put him in charge.
We had an issue, right? I don't know if you noticed that, but we had a patch today. So one of our observers got hit with a version mismatch. So you got to restart and upload. Update your client. So we're working on it. We're in. We're playing on players now.
But the players are not inviting us back in LMFAO. That's the not funny part.
I think
it's not the funny part, players. We're going to tickle you. We are getting into the games. I'm told it's no one's fault. It was just a chaotic moment that allowed Matt and Mr. X Morello to look up and see the fact that Minnesota is up 42-24 without Steph Curry.
Chris Bucket doing it all here. I know sports updates. We got just a little bit of everything. Like he's chiming in with like an ad lib every once in a while. Like he's just been blasting some Migos and just getting motivated. Just drop those ad libs every once in a while.
You know what I mean? Little prime sub shilling as well.
And I like that there's also like no rhythm to it, right? It's just kind of like, you know what? I'm going to throw it and then I'm going to pop back in right away. It's like, they're calling a fight. Boom, here I am. Like I like it. It just keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, we called that the old razzle dazzle. I think.
Yeah.
Man. That's the best part of this show is we break all the rules, because then I go back to real work tomorrow and I have to follow all of the rules.
Yeah.
But not tonight. It's Rivals Fight Night. It's about to get dark or bright. Let's tune in with our players for
what do you think?
I
think Shroud
take it away.
They may ban the Human Torch here, I think.
There may be a torch, and then there may
get rid of the Human Torch. I mean, that would
might look at a Rocket Raccoon ban here, FlyQuest, because we just saw what Shroud X did last time in Hall of Jolly. The Punisher play was kind of gross.
I was right. I knew it.
Good job. Maybe Groot ban. Gascoigne leads the team. They just don't want to play Groot anymore. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You called it too. Do you get a Captain America Protect?
Captain, show me your captain.
My God!
Will you get
on fire? What do you got?
An Iron Man Protect right now?
Iron Man.
Iron Man protect.
Stop wiggling that thing.
Give us.
Oh, we're getting slow rolled on this, man. That's crazy
Right?
work.
Just protect the
They're
Iron
taking
Man, right?
15 seconds to decide they want Iron Man.
Come on, Vision. We know
He
you
is
want him.
hella good on this map, honestly. I do expect to,
He's not
to
just
see that.
good, he's
Damn.
hella good.
Oh, they did it.
Good.
They did it. I guarantee it won't be an Iron Fist. Definitely won't. They would not do that two
Makes me
games in a
wonder,
row.
like, what is like Vess's? I wonder what Vess's hero pool is, because I would have
Frost?
thought that they would like be, yeah, I mean that is definitely one of them.
Strange, yeah.
Strange we've seen. That's just like because we have
What's that?
3
Psylocke
Okay.
that's pretty interesting because Doomed was actually pretty good with it. Same with
Energy,
Energy,
though,
here
yeah.
in round 1. Yeah.
Does this mean
also-
Iron Fist gets through? Will we see our first Iron Fist tonight?
I think Shroud X might have to use their last ban on the Iron Fist. I think they might have to let the Emma Frost through in order to allow this, which would probably make Vess pretty happy, I imagine.
Group mag out. So we got
Protect
That's right, we
Iron
just-
Fist.
you want- Oh, there it is.
I was like,
Light
protect
on
them,
the
why
Iron
not?
Fist, baby.
Bro.
Oil up, Shroud X.
I am on fire. Any Oilers?
Any Oilers? Get ready. This is about to get pretty
Oil
crazy.
bucket up.
You've been volunteered, Chris.
not my first time. Emma Frost locked in, and
Protect.
we will see the final ban is going to come through on a Luna. Okay, so with Luna gone, do you answer back with your own Loki ban?
No, you've already dealt with. You probably will end up with like Invisible Woman Loki on this kind of game. I just don't think FlyQuest will. Kubatastic will play Loki if they can. I think. I don't believe that we
And
would do
Adam
that.
Warlock.
Honestly,
Are you listening to me?
That's not bad. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
not bad.
Adam Warlock.
yeah.
Warlock
I'm
is
just
gone.
on the ban genie.
Right heroes could make
Players are
all the
ready.
difference.
Shroud X. This is their map pick. Their ban first was Torch. Their protect was the Iron Man. But they didn't see the fist sliding through. Uber and Mr. X on the mic. Enjoy, gentlemen.
Thank you. We have Rocket and Punisher available here. That's something well worth keeping an eye on as we head into Hall of Jalia. It's been a bit of a go-to for Shroud X defensively on this map, and we will have the chance to see a team like FlyQuest, who are a kind of team who can and will play dive, try and break it, because it was very difficult for Shikigami to get through that map.
And potentially our first Iron Fist of the day, right? It's been banned in a lot of the games. Pretty good against the Flyers if it comes into play. Can just kind of lock onto them in the sky. It's just really slippery, pretty tanky as well. They've kind of they're on a quest to make him playable, and I think eventually we're just going to hit a point where sometimes with these heroes they make them too playable, and he'll get there. He'll get there in time. Is Social Socks 33 with a prime. We appreciate you.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you. If you had a Prime sub and you haven't made use of it, consider it sending it over our way. Help us keep the lights on here. This is I'd probably call it a small community project. Got some great people behind
Hex
the scenes.
promised us Dino Nuggies if we hit the next sub.
No. Does that fit into
Not
my
just
macros,
regular
though?
Nuggies, Dino
I'm
ones.
not sure.
Does
Okay,
it
so
come
we
with
are-
ketchup?
Barbecue sauce, even better.
Wait,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
an attack side Punisher. Hold on.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Get up high,
Casmo,
drop that little
thanks for the
turret.
Prime sub.
Tasmo!
I mean,
My guy.
All that money on esports, and you still use your pride. Be smart like
Yep.
Tasmo.
I respect it. It's an infinite money glitch. Reinvest
you
in
do
that.
get high ground here pretty easily, though, Mitch. Like, you get this TP around, right? And you set this Punisher up. It's basically forced FlyQuest all the way down. And FlyQuest actually playing the Iron Fist off the rip here, in combination with the Hela. And you've basically just negated any value that they would have gotten from that.
So they got the Loki. You can fight back into this game, but it's the problem because you're dealing with a Rocket Raccoon, and Hulk is one of the best people to be able to 3D print back into the game. Here's the turret. It's a little bit exposed, but I love the timing here from Doom because FlyQuest are far too busy and they're far too pushed back to do anything about this.
They also just took a ton of poke damage, right? That they just ended up healing out. So what? You're just going to push back in right into this turret. So it can be very difficult to deal with. It's certainly going to be 2 ticks on the point for Shroud X.
1 of 2. Thank you very much for the Prime sub. Yeah, Shroud X, great strategy here, but it's kind of why they choose Hall of Jalia to play it. Spark Chief trying to keep a foot on the point now. Invisible boundary active, but Energy gets shot again by Vision. Once again, Namor taking Hela down. We've just not seen Hela find much success today in general. Spark Chief to the high ground now, and here is that CYA. Spark Chief has to try and get rid of it, but safer to retreat into the safety of this Invisible Woman ultimate. And Doomed is going to make short work of them.
I mean, especially when the Punisher ult is running, right? Probably would have stayed there a little bit longer trying to get rid of the CYA there from Nook, but with that Punisher ult, just being able to kind of, the threat of him just doing a little bit of a 180 and just taking you out. I mean, quite brutal. So Delos will get staggered out here as Shroud X looking to put together a pretty good offense. They were strong on this map on defense,
for
too.
the prime. Keep priming in. We're almost to 220. Dino Nuggies are 3 away.
Yup.
Yeah, 1 of 2 got 2 shoutouts. That's crazy. You're a good boy. 1 of 2.
Hex is going to hand make them as well. I don't know how he's going to do that.
I don't want to eat anything Hex makes, honestly. Maybe he's low-key a good cook, actually. He's kind of cultured. He reads...
He doesn't wash his hands, though.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's okay.
Is it okay, though?
Really? Yeah, you cook out the germs. That's
I see, but what if the germs come after it's been cooked? Is what I'm kind of wondering.
That's how you get worms, Matt.
Yeah, I don't really want parasites in my poop. Anyway, Energy back in the game. Brought back with the BRB. Impunity here was really hoping to disrupt a little more, but Shroud X have made some decent progress. Yeah. Like a Vision could be problematic, and he had that little knockback at the end of the combo from Iron Fist. Is really annoying. I'm not going to bother trying to pronounce any of his ability names, by the way. Harmony Recovery. There we go. I'll do that one. BRB dealt with, but not before Impunity is brought back into the game, and we are hulking out again. Yeah,
but you actually got Fidelity to invest the invisible barrier there. I mean, that is quite massive, right? Shroud X doesn't really gain much of anything for that. You just have a disengage that comes in from FlyQuest.
Okay, Light looking to go in here. Living Chi active, and all right, CYA in play. Means Light better back away to fight another day. Spark Chi's brought down by Doom, though. That's the shotgun going to work. Energy finally on the board. A big kill as well. Has to pop ultimate for it, but Donglin is down, which is going to slow things up for Shroud X.
See Heartless in black with a prime sub. Thank you so much. God, we are just, the primes are just flowing. I mean, we're, the goal at 230. We're at 218. I think we can blow through that.
All right, question. Do you eat the heads off of your Dino Nuggies first? Or just the horns off the Triceratops?
You gotta eat the whole thing at once so it doesn't suffer.
Yeah, Mitch was telling me he does what he likes to call the big bang, and he takes all of the nuggies with his fists and just clumps them together.
Where'd you put it?
Boom. It's a big boom.
And then just shoves all the mush in his mouth.
Well, looks like they're light hitting with a bit of a wet noodle there. Not quite able to bring Doom down. Too much healing in play. This Punisher's a problem for FlyQuest. Shroud X have got a pretty refined strategy on this map. They've definitely got their reps into it, and it looks good. Oh, we're doing this. Okay.
Yep.
And so the pirate ship leaves port, at least for a time. And that's the second checkpoint earned.
Do you think the Iron Fist has been that effective here? I was going to say, okay, but we have to switch over to the Wolverine, so I think that would probably tell you how they felt about the effectiveness of the Iron Fist. I think we talked about the Iron Fist really good against like flyers, but playing it into what we see Shroud X doing, you may as well just play the Wolverine, right? A stronger option in the same type of category.
100%. It's just been hard to see it get value. Although this mystery hero's approach from Light could be concerning. I don't mind this here. You're using the same team up essentially.
Yep.
Energy also having switched over towards the Punisher now, so really going for that infinite ammunition. Now Shroud X gets a little bit harder. You do want a flanker to try and sort of get in and punish this kind of play, but I don't know if they're able to mix it up on a dime like that. Here's the CYA. It will be cleared very quickly, though. Energy with the final judgment at the ready. Hulk smash, though, is a bit scary. Energy could get interrupted midway through his ultimate, but Impunity, just gets burnt down in a second.
Oh my God. Not much you could do here to survive this. Final judgment coming through from Energy is now you just kind of FlyQuest essentially, Mitch, is brute forcing their way back through this choke, right? Just putting down the extra damage there with the Bucky and Punisher and just pushing Shroud X back as they finally get a hold, right? It felt like a little bit of a speed run from Shroud X up until this point.
This is why did FlyQuest watch the first game? Because I did sort of mention like a Rocket Raccoon ban probably needed to be made and let the Emma frost through. Either way, like they obviously showed just how powerful it is. They're like doubling down on it now, of course, when they've got a Bucky that can benefit from the infinite ammo as well, which with Rosterstone is actually crazy because you don't have to weave your abilities in anymore to keep reloading. You can actually just hold M1 and it does work. It is pretty damn good. Oh, Fidel! Oh, buddy, that is brutal.
Yep, the tracking is nice, but I mean, what chance does he have to survive there?
Pretty limited without any healing, but that's the way the game goes. And that was, by the way, that was without a damage boost. That was not a Rocket Raccoon ultimate, so it gets.
That's just a Z pack.
Yeah, just a little Z pack. It's just a little boost there to the ammo. Vision on the Iron Man here against Punisher and Bucky. Especially with this map where like there's not a lot of like verticality to like be able to hide from. It might be just like enough poke damage to just get them out of place, so to work through the choke, but
you can't tell me the Maul's not potentially a better option than that, though. No, yeah. Here caught inside the seduction. There goes Vision. It's a force physics from Coopertastic that claims that elimination, and FlyQuest, Matt, have really slowed this to an absolute standstill. Shroud X also have burned through a lot of their big ultimates. Final Judgment used not so long back, and Dongmin went for a seduction there too.
So they'll go Hela. Hela is another, we talked about like Namor, right? I think Hela another good option here is, we'll see if you can actually get a use of this barrier here through this choke, right? The last time it was actually Spark Chief who dove into the back line. Fidel ends up dropping the barrier, and then they just ran away. But this is going to be Energy using the Final Judgment, going to push on into it.
All right, correction, of course. Winter Soldier doesn't get the ammo from Z-Pack anymore. Thanks for that in the chat. Light doesn't seem to need it because Kraken Impact hits hard enough. And unfortunately, there's nowhere for Dongmin to really go here. That'll be yet another reset for Light, but it's just cosmetic at this point as Shroud X have run out of time on its attack side. Quick portal. Stitch in time saves 9, they say. We do have a touch in the final seconds, but that was Fidel, and they will be dealt with pretty easily. Tainted Voltage claims the Invisible Woman. And now, FlyQuest to the numbers advantage. Look to try and capitalize on it. Impunity is able to have a freedom charge, so a bit of overhealth to work with. Light might have to respect this Emma Frost shield, but Doom just got kicked in the face, so I think Shroud X are in trouble.
Oh, I think for sure. I mean, you're going to get back with a CYA here for Nook, but you're going to have Vest getting close to this Emma Frost ult here in just a second. You're just going to have to kind of hide behind the card. Don't need to be aggressive here into all the damage that's coming down from Shroud X.
Decent shots here off the roster stern. Okay, that could be a problem now. Impunity able to break line of sight and avoid being, oh man, tempted forward, we'll say. Coopertastic back into the fight though, and Impunity went down, and the end Light is able to punch them up into the air and out of the game entirely. Vest here fully charged up, hitting very hard in a diamond form, and catches Dongmin with a left-right good night. Shroud X brought to a stop.
Look, I still think a pretty decent offense though from Shroud X, right? It really only started to spiral a little bit out of control in favor of FlyQuest. They were towards the end of the map, right through that choke. Once FlyQuest made some adjustments, really playing the Punisher with the Bucky, then they were able to be really difficult to dislodge from that choke. Really, not even able to work your way through the choke was Shroud X.
With your next 15 seconds, don't scratch your butt or blow your nose. Go ahead, drop that mouse right below your screen. You see that button that says follow? Smash it.
Yep.
Do it now. 78 of you do it, and Hex will pay us.
Hey, that sounds cool.
I like it paid, honestly.
I'm in.
That for me. We can work something out, chat. Just make it happen for us. So
go tell everybody you know. If everybody in chat knows a few people, we're good.
30 seconds before you attack.
So despite the fact that, Matt, obviously, because Bucky now has that team up with Captain America and no longer with Rocket Raccoon, so you don't sort of get to abuse that, that ammunition. There's a bunch of reason to play him. He's got decent, mobility now because of that Cap team up. I also think like Bionic Arm is a pretty unique ability and be able to yank people. It also combines really well with force physics. You can combo two together and pull someone like right across the map. So look pretty good in the hands of Light, but he's thinking Spider-Man on this attack side. I'm here for it.
Ooh, so they're not going to have a Strange here at the start, right? To like TP towards that high ground. So they're going to rely on the Spider-Man to put pressure, get doomed off of that high ground control, but Vision also going to be guarding that position as well. So I think Light's going to be in a really tough way trying to fight that.
There's no TP.
Okay, so he goes to Bucky. Yeah, I think you see what they're running and you're like, how are you flanking that?
Well, okay, so Shroud X are set up here pretty comfortably. FlyQuest are not playing Strange to TP behind them like we saw from Shroud X. They are taking the front door. It's a really interesting option. Obviously, that turret's not available for another 15 seconds, so there's a pretty pronounced window, but now Doom gets the infinite ammo, so basically still a turret at all phases of the game. Vision's uncontested up here as well, and those Monstro spawns have got pretty long range. You'll notice this Vision is just going to add more and more to the stash. They are going to be cleared, though. FlyQuest moves forward now. Vision not being really attended to at all, as no one can get up there for the time being.
Yeah, the health bars though and FlyQuest are like pretty healthy across the board, right? So are you just kind of letting them farm and, you know, maybe getting some support ultimates a little bit faster, right? You look at Fidel at 77 and Cooper already at 90, but now you just kind of succumb over the pressure of that damage and end up falling.
Yeah, I do think, like, there's a window, right? You're on a timer, I suppose, before those monster spawns really start to take their toll and you kind of run out of healing resources, and you're trying to play in the window that the turret's not available for Doom, but he now has final judgment. So basically draining every bit of the NRA's like ammunition coffers in this next fight will Doom be. He is big chilling, and Vision is still in that really annoying spot. And who on FlyQuest gets up there? No one.
No, and are you trying to maybe force some of the ultimates out here on Shroud X and then play for another fight if you're FlyQuest? Because yeah, you're just kind of running into this. I mean, Punisher's just you know, turret into infinite ammo constantly.
They try and force physics the Punisher down, but Doom's actually behind some terrain, so it doesn't end up going off the way they wanted to. Okay, here's a good way you can work around the Punisher. Invisible boundary going to be popped. Oh dear. Okay. In comes the Horn of Proteus, but it was Doom's final judgment that really left the mark on FlyQuest.
Yeah, I mean, good luck trying to push your way on through this, right? I mean, we've talked about it now for a few attempts, but this is where, like, the Strange Portal's so effective off of dislodging from this area. Like, why not at least try it off the rip, right? Or Strange Portal, and then, you know, let the Strange player swap to something else, right? It feels like just kind of running it down mid here is obviously the hardest approach. Yeah, I mean, we're running it down.
Can we cap portal? Can we strange portal? Like maybe for some reason. Yeah,
if you put a strange portal and then a turret on Doom, then he's just gonna get melted. You know what I mean?
It's like it's not guaranteed, but it gives them at least it evens the playing field a little.
It gives them a shot. Like I don't think you have a realistic shot just running it up.
You can't tell me that they definitely have the pull to cover Strange. No, they don't. Oh, I love that seduction from the high ground. That is very nice from Dongmin.
And that was energy gold too. I mean, that's gonna come back, but I mean, this has been a brutal offense from FlyQuest.
Yeah, we need to see a pivot here, I think, pretty quickly.
Here we go.
From Dongmin, making sure. Okay, so we have it. Spark Chief switching over towards the Strange now. I guess FlyQuest wanted to try, right? They go for their approach. This will be the standard location for setting up the TP. In they come. Is this going to be enough though? Spark Chief waiting, going to switch to Caps. He'll come in from the front side here now, and it's going to be up to Vest to protect against this turret. Not an easy proposition, I think. You've really got to be careful. And they're not getting enough damage really on the turret. Okay, knocked away. Beautiful. Doom's now on the low ground. Here comes the seduction over the point now. Vision can't make use of that Horn of Proteus, but still picks off energy with a wave. But Javelin, FlyQuest are running out of time. They've got to connect here. Kraken impact's available for Light. Zealous with a damage boost, and Light doesn't look to capitalize on it at all. BRB's cleared out of the way. Horn of Proteus being sat on here by Vision, and Vest now goes down. Here's the Horn. Good response, though. Healing comes out for both sides. Coopertastic gets a big ultimate in play. Energy coming back on the Iron Man, but those Monstro spawns had to be cleared first, and they are. Impunity tries to run away. Dongmin left a little bit exposed there by that repositioning
coming back
of
with
the
ult.
Hulk. And, getting close to 2 ticks here. But where are the big ultimates? Final judgment going to be there for Doom. Can it get out into the open and make use of it? Looks like that is a yes. In here comes. Big damage going down on Spark Chief. He can't get away. No freedom charge available for FlyQuest, and they are forced off the point. That's a little bit of a Charlie Niner. To be fair,
I mean,
that's the way it goes.
Yes and no. I think it's just a little bit of a throw there from FlyQuest, right? They started to put together on defense.
25 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, I mean, once they got the Strange TP and they got that position, they were able to start making progress on the point. It's just they waited till 45 seconds left in the game to do it. That's kind of the problem there.
Little saucy Chris Bucket.
They know better than us, but that was kind of hard to watch. I felt like you had Vision having the time of his life playing a mediocre Namor, just missing shot after shot, but no pressure on the guy. He did, but I will send you a clip over where he is up top on the shelf. Everybody is pushing up the low ramp. No one looks at him. He misses 6 throws in a row. I missed 6 throws in a row. Just saying, Sparker don't miss 6 throws in a row. 14 final blows is top in the lobby. He gets help from his squids that have auto aim. Well done. We move on. Doomed. D1 hating. Watch up on the hit scan character. My guy, Punisher, Mr. X.
I mean, dude, Doom was just uncontested, just playing from that high ground. And they just wanted to brute force it down the initial choke. And they were like, all right, sweet. Like, we'll throw down a Punisher turret. When that's gone, he'll get infinite ammo. When that's gone, you still have Namor putting down all the turrets. I mean,
yeah, this looks fun. I can do this.
I mean, well, yeah, this is on offense, right? And then on defense, it just gets it so easy.
The mow down. I was very impressed the one time that we saw Energy get his ultimate on Punisher. But this seems to be Shroud X's game. Well, he gets his 3K. You want to see it? Mode.
On the attack side, I think he got it cancelled instantly. He just got like... Yeah, this was good.
Almost.
It's good. The damage was good. I like that. I thought, like, honestly, like, I was feeling very good about FlyQuest, but this map is notorious. Like, their first point is hard to take at the best of times, right? I feel like every arena FPS like has that map, right? That you know, it's really like easy to defend or just has like very oppressive high ground control. But I want to echo Matt. Like, I would have liked to have seen FlyQuest maybe go for a strange a bit earlier, and maybe that's like
you'd have done it twice. Like
yes.
What they did, you could have done twice in the course of that first round, right?
At least, I mean, exactly. Even with the cooldown. So, like, maybe that's like the lack of Gasklin effect, or just FlyQuest have a strong preference, you know, to go
just
for that.
Being a little stubborn, because we've seen it like a full hold on Midtown before, where Envy didn't let somebody out of their spawn. Like, we've seen teams just not switching until too late in the game. I feel like this one could be a long series, though, as we now see Shroud X answering back 1-1. Yep. Both teams willing to make mistakes, try new things. We've seen some bans look very familiar.
I think both teams would up to not make. They're willing to make mistakes. I don't want them to. I don't want them to make mistakes.
Why would you see anyone's wrist getting slapped right now, Mr. X? You think the comms are real spicy with anger?
Well, they're probably giggling like,
let's make them wait 15 minutes for game 3.
I want to say, Light looked pretty good in that previous game, even though like the Winter Soldier is like maybe considered less powerful and he can't abuse the infinite ammo at the moment. It would look quite good. He doesn't sort of run away with the game like you know, Winter Soldier maybe used to, but that was good looks. I don't know. I do think that, I don't know, FlyQuest might have disrespected Shroud X pretty badly.
I think they got maybe a little too comfy with how good their defense was in that choke towards the end, right?
Yeah.
Chris Puckett had his finger up.
You put your finger up.
Something.
You want me to pull it, or you the wind changing?
Take it back.
What's going on?
I thought we were gonna go to one. I think we're just gonna hang out for game 3. You guys down? You guys down to ride?
It's like 100 F in here right now, so I'm kind of melting. But yeah, I'm down. Are
we down to ride? Everybody, chat. Are we down to ride right into a game 3?
I'm riding. I don't know about you guys.
We're here.
I'm riding.
We're doing it. I don't have to make any decisions. I love this.
It's really hot in here as well. I don't have any water, but I have just like the you know, mental strength to be able to fight through. Okay, that's a water into a Celsius chug hand crush there. That's
and trying to mouth him
afterwards. Yeah, I got to get ready.
What is that? Is that a fan?
He's getting ready for a filling, Matt.
See, Matt, this was the Barber Nation I was telling you about. I don't own them yet. Okay. But this is a turbo jet charger that ZP would use to clean out his PC.
Yeah.
I use it to dry off my sweaty shirts or just blow things when I'm bored.
I thought you use it to give yourself like you want to oxygenate yourself more, so you just shoot more air.
Get ready for the casino. Yeah, exactly. We're going to Midtown. Speaking of full hold, this is the map where things got weird. It was bully ball with 3 different vanguards, 3 supports back then. I don't think we're going to see that, but Emma Frost, she could slide through. Hey. Magneto has made it through 1 time tonight.
These games always get you know, slippery with a triple support, triple vanguard, you know, every once in a while, right? We've seen that. We've all lived through that, where it's just a matter of time before it becomes a thing. Yeah,
there's obviously like the Jeff, the Land Shark version of this comp, which is, you know, fun on those flanky maps. And there's also the Adam Warlock version, which is, you know, he's being used more of as. I do think that version of the triple strategist is going to be like more viable, and that's why we're seeing like these Adam bans towards the end, just to make sure no one gets any funny ideas. When you've got Mag and Adam banned, like Star-Lord is just not an option either. It's pretty terrible.
Vision, by the way, saying on that last game, ignore his performance. That
Yep.
hero is normally perma-banned for him, so
It's
he
all
never
good,
gets to
bud.
use them. So the rust is being shook off. You know, we're good. We're chilling at a 1-1 scoreboard. We're vibing, Vish.
Chat, I don't need a bigger
Yeah.
water bottle. I think this is like a 2-liter
Well,
bottle.
not
This
what
is-
what happened with that water bottle is he actually sent he had his when they do like those clay moldings, that's actually the size of his head that they turned into a water bottle. So that's like
Wow.
as big as that's as big as they can ship it. I mean,
it's
How many
good.
ounces is that guy?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you in on it's like it's a 64 ounces.
I mean, your head looks about 64 ounces.
That's
It's about 3
6
feet.
vodka sodas. Yeah, take your time.
It's about 3
We are jumping into game number 3. It is all tied up FlyQuest and Shroud X.
I bet you they banned Human Torch here. I think I got a feeling that
Oh,
Shroud
yeah.
X, they're gonna get rid of
My
Human
giblets.
Torch. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Uber looking
Reading
like
the tea
Mike
leaves,
Ross. Mike Ross, the wrestling announcer?
No, the guy from Suits. The guy from Suits.
way better suggestion.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've had that before.
I think you were
didn't-
thinking
that's
that
good
you
guess,
looked like
man. That's
like you
good.
looked like Jim Ross, the
That's what I was
commentator.
thinking.
Yeah, Jim Ross. Yeah, he does look a little bit like JR. Good old JR. Yeah, looks a little bit like good old JR.
I mean,
Oh, thank
Pretty
you,
worse, I guess.
Lime Prime, for that distraction as we're watching the same bands.
So, yeah,
games in a row.
Iron Man goes. Iron Man gets protected. Sorry.
I'm gonna say Iron Fist was not a threat. Psylocke later.
yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, Iron Fist can run away with the game, by the way, but Light always just seems to be like, when we get those moments where he's playing like Spider-Man Iron Fist, it's like in a pretty disadvantaged situation. And there's always enough bandwidth for people to turn around and just look at him and vaporize him. So
We haven't seen Namor ban really that much today, at least in North America. So that's a little bit of a change up here. So the Namor goes.
So I have a
I'm
question
telling you,
from
Vision was
chat.
good.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. It's just we've seen a lot of great Namors here. Okay, as a Namor Lord, I could tell you a few things. So the question from chat: why is Punisher meta, or was that just a one-off based on the bans and protects that we'll see a near mirror of?
The map. It's Hall of Jalia. That map is just like, that is a very viable strategy. You just sit on a turret on the high ground and then you just go brrr. I don't think that, I mean, Midtown is...
I see the raccoon. I think more
Look,
Punishers coming, unless you ban them.
long sight lines plus infinite ammo plus hit scan plus a turret equals viable. I think
He's also-
just in any scenario.
Even his fire rate, he's also the best user of the CYA in the game, essentially. Like, offers you like probably the biggest damage spike that you could ask for, just because he's vomiting bullets at you. And I think like the team up is still really good under normal circumstances. It can dissuade any divers. Like, you have protected Cap, which is fine, but Cap does not like getting shot in the face with a shotgun. I'll tell you that much.
Is Punisher not the coolest character as well in the MCU? Yeah, let me know.
He feels like very.
I mean,
he seems very generic incel mad white guy.
No, Shane from Walking Dead Punisher. I'm talking. You know, specifically
okay.
that one from the Netflix series. All right, we'll get there later in a minute. Chat, let us know what you think. It's Midtown. New York City is being taken over by robots. Will you be able to break out of your garage and push a cart to explode things? Probably not.
And get a parking fine while you try and save the city from robots, right?
Game
That's the
on.
New York experience.
who is the coolest character in the MCU they can add at this moment?
Wolverine.
I mean, he's already there.
They haven't added
Oh, you can add?
They got Doctor
Deadpool?
Doom, right?
Deadpool.
Doom.
I guess. Doom is
Yo, you know what? Who would be a
Cyclops?
sick flyer? Sick flyer needs to happen. Will be a flyer. Silver Surfer. Get the board going.
Yeah, he has to be
Start
a flyer.
start flying around.
You already got the torch mechanics. It's going to be easy to
Right?
skin.
Yeah,
Start surfing.
I think that's fine.
Is that a trumpet or a trombone over there that
I don't,
Cat was playing?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with nobody. You're coming with me.
Oh, from downtown.
Yeah, that's where
Midtown.
Jim Ross. That's where you need to hit it, Jim Ross. You need to start, popping off from the top rope.
This is very VP coded. This thing pick here from Spark Chief. I like it quite a lot. You see this from Finzi every now and then. Makes for a pretty sturdy front line because you are, of course, playing the triple Vanguard on FlyQuest.
Yeah, and you play right up to that spawn door. Loki makes it through, right? So Loki extremely good with Invisible Woman, getting those barriers out, especially just trying to play those tanks. And like, you know, if Doom doesn't get one, it feels like you're in a world of trouble as Vision will go over and play the Iron Man here, just trying to chunk him down.
Yeah, there goes Doomed. I mean, it's the right pick against this triple Vanguard, but it's tough because Shroud X's front line is constantly just being caved in. Vest is fully charged, and that's probably not going to change anytime soon. And there's obviously two forms of shielding. And Spark Chief just like mixes in a bunch of damage and disruption with the anti-streak charge in there. So you just have so much to work with. A very early Kraken impact here for energy. I like the strat for FlyQuest. We're going to the back line, try and get rid of Impunity. It's an odd play to put the debuff on though, because it's unlikely Impunity is ever going to get low enough to give you resets, but I digress. Oh, buddy! Oh, that is devastating. And that's one way to take a low mobility comp down.
It looks like they got like almost like booped or knocked into that side room, and that was just you know, Vision was in the chat. He's like, I'm never playing that hero again. He comes in. I mean, that is a sick play there. Look at this FlyQuest though, getting a little sneaky. We're gonna get a TP right on top of them.
Why not? I mean, better than using it to block the attacker spawn to buy you 8 seconds. I think it's like nice here to get back into the fight quickly. Some haymakers here being loaded up for Spark Chief. Little slam on the charge. You see the Wolverine of Doom though is on the move. Energy also trying to get in. I mean, and Impunity is just so good at like, taxing the bandwidth of the backline here for FlyQuest. Light eventually gets taken down. All right, it's going to be a seduction here. Catching onto the Wolverine. Vision has to get inside now to see what is what. Maybe regrets that decision being sunned up instantly. That is a big problem time.
He's in with like 3 stuns, but there's some way to keep him alive, right? Impunity end up using their capital.
I mean, the question is like, do FlyQuest have the damage? I think like so much rests on energy, being able to get in and find these picks. Otherwise, like, you tickle a little bit between Strange and the Thing. You can throw a bit of damage down, which is fine, but yeah, we're switching up. Light to the Spider-Man now. This is a decent part of the map to make use of, of course, as it's obviously open.
Ooh, okay, so we're going to get that Venom combo as well. So teams have kind of gone away from this, right? But
okay, let's see how it plays out. Yeah, I do obviously like Touch of Clintar is still like active, so like it's still in the game. So you still get that extra buff. Ooh, okay, not bad for Vision. A very safe use of that ability as well. Caught out in the middle of the fight, but Duck's going to have this fate of both worlds in play. Spark Chief just dies instantly, and the dive from FlyQuest, well, it hasn't really had time to heat up yet, Matt.
Yeah, I do think though you got a decent amount of time off the clock though, right? There from FlyQuest. We'll see though if you're able to kind of make a play towards the end. Did Zelos end up using the invisible barrier towards the end, but when he got taken out there by
no, I think it was
Vision, or did he use it in the fight previously and then you just gave so little ult? Yeah, I was gonna say,
because remember Vision went into it to try and see what was going on, and they got stunned up a bunch.
So I guess his time alive was so short, and the last time around he gained about like
because they came off spawn and died instantly to an Iron Man ult. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, he was above the doorway Vision, and he just kind of rocks it down. So Doom's trying to get a pick there, just trying to find somebody. Does not get anybody hooked on in. Is I see though, like I think Light actually picks up Vision here, but it's really about can FlyQuest kind of coordinate this dive.
Oh, a nice freeze on the Spark Chief, and here's the CC, and that's exactly what Venom does not want to deal with. And regenerative healing factor comes up at just the right time. It could have gone ugly for Doomed. However, for the rest of Shroud X, it looks a little bit average. FlyQuest stabilize and sit on a bunch of these ultimates. Now, like Feast of the Abyss is up for Spark Chief, which is amazing for that just extra bit of durability, and it has some like burst damage on it. So much like that sort of cellular corrosion, it does give you access to more damage than you'd otherwise have as Venom.
Well, with the where the Venom was fighting there with Light, I mean, you do get Vision first, but that is not ideal, right? In that close quarter area, especially against players who have CC available. Not exactly where the Venom wants to fight, but you're able to keep him alive on through that and win that one. So now as they push in through this choke, it's going to be Energy just putting down some damage here and trying to set up a time. Oh, nice grab, but he's going to get taken out of it.
Yeah, nicely done there. Keeping energy in the game. Cooper-tastic now with the fate of both worlds. Looks like a seduction got thrown in there as well. Dangerous, but energy still able to get the ultimate off somehow. Had already started channeling it, so Dongmin is a little late to the party with that one. And that's a pretty cheaply won fight. You have an invisible boundary for the next fight. Also, Spark Chief and Light working together. Look for the touch of Clintar force back, because it's really quite effective against like those dive style Vanguards that want to run up on you, like the Cap, for example.
Yeah, so we'll see if that comes into play. And we also have Doom now going over to the Star-Lord here. So going to be a little bit more slippery for like Light to kind of hit those shots and then kind of come up with that combo to, you know, gain the damage boost. So going to be harder for him to track down. I like the change here as well to the Punisher. You know, Vision, we talked about how the shotgun is so good against like Venom. Can also be really good against Spider-Man as well, putting pressure on the Iron Man. I think the Punisher a great choice here.
Nice little uppercut from Light, but just tough to get the damage to stick right now. Now he's got to deal with a bit of a mismatch. I think the Star-Lord is a bit of a pain for Spider-Man to deal with a lot of the time. Spark Chief here, just trying to stay present, but doesn't want to have to use this symbiotic resilience too early. Might have to now, though. This could be a problem. Final judgment coming in from Vision, and it's going to be backed up with the CYA. And so, FlyQuest should crumble here. Pretty close to that next checkpoint, and likely they won't have much time to get ready for another fight.
You wouldn't know it. There's an invisible barrier there as well for FlyQuest. But I mean, the damage output there from Vision is just so much, especially against a team that's playing a little bit more of a dive style. No Fate of Both Worlds here available for FlyQuest. Maybe you can get on here. You're going to get a touch with that Spider-Man. Get the Venom into the mix as well. Could kind of continue to keep this rolling. His energy got quite low. Need to get healed up as he's got that big ultimate.
There it is. That's the ult combo we're looking for. This is going to keep FlyQuest in the game now, and in overtime could be... Oh! Never mind! What was that for impunity? Is that a Vibranium energy sword that got 2 eliminations? You almost never see that. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll keep playing the game. You got it. Doomed there with a nice Galactic Legend to end things quickly. Answer a question in chat. Why are FlyQuest running Iron Man with the Hulk team up? Iron Man, very powerful still. Obviously, you are playing around his ultimate that gives you some really nice burst damage. And Gamma Overdrive is good, but it's not essential.
Right. But I guess if you were going to play this aggressive, wouldn't you just play the Hulk with the Venom? Or no? Do you feel like you actually need the Emma Frost that much?
I mean, I don't think Hulk is great on this map. He's terrible on like the low ground tunnels and stuff. Like it's horrendous. Maybe in the first phase, it's more reasonable. But like getting staggered out is pretty punishing. Also, the Punisher just like shreds you as Hulk. Like I just don't want to.
Yeah,
that's just awful. Awful. All right, Doom.
Not as reliant on the Hulk team up as
no, he does so much
earlier in the game's life cycle. Yeah.
I think like Namor really likes it because that extra Monstro spawn means it's just more uptime of sort of spawn in general. Here comes a seduction from Dongmin, caught inside the corrosion, but Slayer, oh god, I mean, it's tough to play Venom against Emma Frost now. Like that is the indignity of getting absolutely choked out like that is
the Emma Frost just laughs, I feel like, when you come on in, right? You're able to just deal with that Venom so fast, especially the Emma Frost with the help of like a Punisher as well. We see actually here a barrier used for energy on the flank as it'll be Vision just trying to lead the team to victory here towards the end of the map as we head into OT.
Dying seconds. Defenders though on the cart for the time being, but Shroud X here have got Vision coming out of the final judgment now with infinite ammunition, looking for energy. Obviously, yeah, a natural predator. Impunity back on the Magneto. Always love to see that, by the way. The Meter Rim on the way. Vision going to be knocked back. Here comes the piece of the Abyss. So much getting popped there, but the cart needs to be attended to, guys. The cart is the objective in this game type. The map completion from Shroud X.
You know, I mean, things happen, right?
It does.
There's so much going on. The cart just kind of rolls on through. Good offense there from Shroud X, dealing with that triple Vanguard setup at the beginning, and then also when FlyQuest went to a dive, being able to kind of fight on through it.
So there's an Iron Man. There's a deflection.
That is crazy. I was like,
okay, so I thought it was the energy sword icon. That makes a ton more sense.
Yeah,
it's the shield. Rare to see that in the kill feed, guys. That is beautiful.
Yeah, I guess the damage impact is so big. He connects with what is it? Light as well?
Yeah,
like the explosion radius. The
AoE still goes on. Well caught there, chat. All happened pretty quickly, but that's what that living legend can do. The deflecting projectiles, it sends a ricocheting like random directions, right? But there's only one way that pulse shot could have gone.
Yeah, when he's basically inside of the cannon, there's really only one direction it can go.
Chad, show some love for our observers and producers. You guys are mind-blowing.
Yeah, thank them by using a prime or following. Look, we want the obs to get their dino nuggies, so come through.
What are dino nuggies? Are those like secured yet, or are we still?
Yeah. Okay. Sexy told me. It's like I'm only he's using grass-fed chicken. He's like he's doing them by hand right now. He even said he's wearing gloves.
Okay. All right, that's great. I'm glad. We could have washed his hands, but that's also fine.
He said the gloves are easier.
Okay. Well, same strategy.
Conserving water.
This is a much harder map to play this like Punisher turret-based defense, but still can work, especially against the dive. Like, I don't think you feel confident. Like, FlyQuest, why does it feel like they've been forced back to their old tricks here?
I mean, because it looks like they definitely have, but I feel like this. So you say that it's not as good, you know, potentially with that Punisher on the high ground. I still think though, like there are some, you know, really nice high ground setups, like especially if they're going to play this dive, like, and you have an opportunity to punish this Venom. I mean, look at the Venom. I mean, it has to just use the ability to kind of gain that shield right away because knows the damage is going to be coming in hot from that Punisher.
Yeah, you've got to remember just how high the fire rate is from that shotgun. It is not a pump. I mean, it is pump action, but it's basically an auto shotty in terms of just how quickly you can get sprayed down. So got to respect it. Turret event, again, available for vision. I'm kind of glad we're stuck on this because you can see just how oppressive it is to play against this. Even with the Magneto, like even if you have like a shield tank, that's just being eaten through most of the time. Galactic Legend. Top tier for Dune, but it has to get out. Invisible Boundary is the prescribed answer. Good one here for FlyQuest. They're going to be able to advance a little bit further now with this. Dune able to get some overshield there. That was very, very important. Kick them in the fight. Now looking over towards Xenos. Force Physics used to try and knock him back. Here comes a Kraken impact, though, from Energy. Looking for resets. Not many to be found here now. As of course, Fidel has a healing ultimate in play. Shroud X trying to solidify now.
Yeah, and you still have this, you know, Meteor M potentially, right? If FlyQuest wants to continue to fight, but looks like just kind of the battle of attrition here. You know, you're just going to end up losing out in terms of just damage output, right? Shroud X, just if these fights go long, you're just going to end up kind of losing out, right? With just the damage output eventually that they have. You know, healing, basically, you know, pretty similar from both sides, right? But an extra support ultimate for FlyQuest, but still doesn't seem to be enough.
A minute 45 on the clock.
Is this Zello switch potentially like to dodge that Meteor M, right? Yeah. They have to know it's available, right? It's the only ultimate that doesn't come across the entire...
If lose this map, they have to take us to a domination game type, I think. Here's the Feast of the Abyss. Big damage. Spark Chief, though. Good healing, or at least that overshield keeps him alive for the onslaught of vision. Now, though, again, we've got the Z-Pack in play once more. Spark Chief down to the Galactic Legend. Doom looking good. What a bionic arm connection. But Bulwark is there, Matt, to save Doom's bacon again.
I mean, 6 up there from Impunity right before he dies. You're going to end up losing Doom, though. 2 energy is... Still, with a minute to go, Mitch, you're going to be able to come back here and fight this one more time if you're Shroud X, right? You have Dongmin hovering over the Strange here. You're going to get a TP. And Doomed is actually going to go over to the Wolverine here, right? So...
Okay. I like this question in chat, honestly. Why FlyQuest aren't playing Hela? Because there's no, like, cap on the side of Shroud X. That's, like, not a terrible option, honestly, against this one. Oh, my goodness. There's your boy Light coming alive. Big magnificent combo. Flattens them out, and this will be FlyQuest securing. Might not have needed that, but hey, I don't care. Look good.
Yeah, I mean, that is just there's nothing you can do there if you're Shroud X, right? You don't have a support ult that's going to be able to keep you alive on through that, and just really nice positioning there from Light as Light will go away from Spider-Man. Will end up matching that Star-Lord as Spark Chief going to play now the Cap instead of the Venom. I mean, these are better selections, I think, in this part of the map. We were talking about how difficult it could be to play that Venom, especially into the Punisher, even further, you know, upping the difficulty in this close quarter area.
Good bulwark there, thrown down by Impunity. He's the one I want to Magneto if I'm playing, that's for sure. Okay, once again, trouble is on the way. Shroud X having to give a fair bit of room here as Vision, with a damage boosted final judgment, will clear the room.
That'll be a nice defense here from Shroud X. They do a great job, man, playing around these Punishers up on the high ground, right? Regardless of the map, like just trying to find advantages for the Punisher to just get these type of sight lines. Oh, nice stun at range there. I don't know if you caught that. It looks like Dongman actually hit by Cooper-Tastic's ice stun across the map. As that'll be a dime to the high ground from Spark Chief. But you see, Vision doesn't even look to the Cap to his left, right? Just like he kind of knows the Cap to his left is like bait, right? Where it's like, well, okay, the Cap's not gonna dive and burst him down, right? Just keep putting damage on these squishier targets through the choke instead.
You see the rotation. Z-Pack, primary fire, and then just take the turret up.
Yeah.
And then, usually like won't be another like 30 seconds maybe till the Z-Pack is back again and you will have unlimited ammunition. So what was the answer for FlyQuest? Wholesale changes here. Light on the Star-Lord now. Back up here with Adam Warlock. So still seeing it used in these cases on both sides. Still powerful enough in his own right, but shut down by line of sight denying abilities like that's invisible boundary. Doom does get the Bulwark eventually. Looks like Cart's not moving a little bit there because Spark Chief has found his way into the back line again. Map Vision will hold his ground once more.
I mean, there's no reason for him not to, right? I don't think he's really feeling under any like viable threat by anybody. And then also when this dive comes in, right, and you're not able to execute and take Vision out on the high ground, he's also just putting damage down for Doom to just follow up, right? Doom just down there, controlling that door on the right-hand side, but then it's players try and disengage from all that damage. He's just able to follow it up.
Is 12 ults good?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
I mean, it's good for us as viewers. I don't know if it's good for the team that holds theirs too long, but hey, we're about to see them all ideally used in this fight. Freedom Charge comes out first. CYA going to be active, and of course, the Final Judgment will be deployed. Kubatastic going to be drawn forward. A Meteor M attempted here. That could have cut Vision's damage down, but it looks like, not sure where that one ended up. Not really sure what happened to Vess's Meteor at all in that situation, but Shroud X still holding on to the 3 ultimates. The fate of both walls is active for Vidal. Kubatastic also has to mirror them. Okay. We're going to have a Cloak and Dagger ultimate used by Zelos now to come forward. They're taking damage. He's going to put pressure on the back line. It's a charged up Meteor Remnant. Well, doesn't really hit anything in particular. Kraken Impact also active. Fidel hit with the debuff. Doom's going to go down to Light, but now brought back into the fight with that BRB. FlyQuest have to push up, but they are running out of numbers and fast. Light finally dragged down. Doomed with a blaster barrage over the middle of the fight. Nice right click from C&D, but the healing isn't quite enough, and Vision is mowing them down. Zelos falls. Kubatastic singled out in the backline, and Doom cleans them up easily.
With the amount of damage that Vision is putting down, you see Doom able to just kind of roll into the back line. Nobody able to turn and focus on him. Spark Chief will get a touch. It'll be a TP here from Light. Nice freeze. He's trying to come on through there from Fidel. Potentially stops that as looks like another barrier thrown in the mix, trying to block it as they jump right on into Vision's Final Judgment.
It's just Light, though, trying to keep this alive. Spark Chief already got taken down, and so the Doctor Strange will fall. Energy gets there. Smoke grenade deployed. Bulwark given over to... Oh, that was a beautiful hook onto Nuck. That's exactly the target you want in the middle of this fight. Vision, though, still has healing, and he still gets shielding from impunity. Shroud X, man, this team are looking scary, looking legit. FlyQuest have to pick a domination map, and quick.
They are cooking, especially with this Punisher. It seems that like Vision is just so difficult for them to deal with, and Doom looks extremely comfortable playing that Star-Lord with it. So we'll see if they end up continuing to use that combo to success, just one game away from taking it.
I think. And
all right, so if Magneto sneaks in, Doomed is going to play Star-Lord. If Magneto doesn't sneak in, then Doom gets to play Punisher, and I lose some other
43,000 damage with 16 final hits. Also, like, not the last Final Judgment, the one before that. The Vest's just not able to do anything with the Meteor M. I believe it just kind of like shoots it, like overloads it, so to speak. So not able to even get it off there.
I mean, you lose it. If you can't get it off, I think before it gets like maxed out, you sort of lose it. And I just don't think they were able to predict how quickly the damage was going to come in from the Punisher. Honestly, 40, 50k, that's just another day at the office for a Punisher when they're backed up by this Rocket Raccoon team up. I asked for a Raccoon ban on Holojali. We still didn't get it here. For the love of God, FlyQuest,
don't
please.
ban him.
Just pick a domination map.
Don't ban him. Just lose to Big Pun. All right, guys, we got to go to a break. Letting our production team take 5. When we come back, you better have hit that sub button. I mean, follow button. I mean, use the Prime
hit
sub,
both.
please. Just do them both. We'll be right back. This is Rivals Fight Night. We love you. Welcome back to Rivals Fight Night, where you are awkwardly enjoying 3 middle-aged men, one in a basement, one in a bedroom, one in a garage, talking about cartoon characters blowing each other up.
I mean, they just did that right there.
Who's in the garage?
Is that not where you're at? I figured your Lambo is right behind that stein there, soldier.
No, I just don't want people to see my bedroom.
This is pool house. His pool house.
Yeah, pool house. Second guest garage house. Welcome in, everybody. We have the 2 most expensive casters alongside the most expensive host in esports, Puckett, Uber, and Mr. Rex, and we are bringing you Rivals Fight Night, brought to you by the community. We are almost to 225 subs, and I was told if we get to a game 5, Hexagrams himself will match every sub up into 25 gifted subs. He's totally good for it, chat. So
That's
let's
true.
just keep that in mind. It only happens if we get to a game 5. There's a lot of things that need to happen
lot of
here.
things
but
need
with
to
that
happen,
Fucking
said,
trying to stack the deck so it doesn't happen because he's
we're
written
all
a check
cheering for FlyQuest right now, right? Let's go to the path. Let's get weird. I guarantee we ban Torch first, Matt.
I think they're gonna ban Human Torch. I think that's what the Shroud X is gonna do first. I mean, yeah, just my opinion. I mean, they've been trying to avoid
good Punisher
Human Torch.
maps. We are picking good Punisher maps. Why
It's a
is
good point.
FlyQuest doing this?
Maybe they'll ban it. Maybe they're gonna.
Yo, have you seen Punisher's ban, bro?
They've got to ban the That's not. Don't ban Punisher.
If you ban Rocket, can they still play Punisher?
Yeah,
Not
but
it is
not
good.
well. No.
It is good. Yeah, I mean, they can physically pick the character, but I don't think the comp makes a lot of sense because it stops you from having a gigantic DPS trough when you're not inside your turret. So
Yeah, this is Fight Night round 10, ladies and gentlemen, week 10. That is a crazy number.
That's impressive. A 10th show. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
it's 2.5 months.
It took 9 weeks of Mr. X begging us to finally put him on a
That's not- I mean,
championship
it missed
broadcast
me.
for North America.
I literally, I said to Hex a while ago, I was like, "Hey, I'll do one," and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What do you think about the Eagles draft?" And then we just kind of get into, yeah, me and Hex, we
There's
start
the
talking
5
about.
gifted.
I mean, we're
The
rolling.
Wolf. Thank you for rolling these in.
Me and Hex talk about esports for maybe like
Clench it.
3 texts, and then it goes to like, "Hey, did you see this backup kicker on Mississippi State? He's got some juice in that leg. You see that guy?"
George Pickett's probably isn't going to jail before he gets to game 3 for the Cowboys. Here we go. It's your bans and protects.
What do you think here for Shroud X first? I call it.
Bam.
I
Nailed
think
it.
Groot maybe here for FlyQuest. What do you think, Mitch?
I think Mitch should do this one.
So okay, I mean, yes.
Yeah, what do you think?
Probably group ban here.
Too late.
What do you mean?
How about now?
Which one? Cap protect?
Oh,
Deny the hell up?
I mean, cat protect. That's a good point. Oh,
Could be good.
They're just targeting
play some
Vision.
Iron Man.
They know
Play
we
some Iron
can't
Man.
ban Vision because he showed us he can play Punisher, not just the Iron Man.
I imagine trying to explain someone new to the game that the melee character is the most dangerous to the flyers, or one of the most dangerous. To the
Well, the melee
He's a
character
ninja,
locks
though.
on. Yeah.
Yes.
He locks on. That would probably be the best way to explain it. His body becomes a little bit like a homing missile. So
Yeah, it is pretty handy. So Iron Man protect here, even though FlyQuest, I mean, they're expecting this to be the case,
Okay,
one or two of
there we go.
those. Okay,
Luna
sorry,
ban
Cooper.
comes late normally, but not right now.
So
somebody in the chat said Puckett and Mr. X are handsome. So handsome.
What does that mean about the middle guy?
Well, I mean,
one from
I'm waiting to
Suits.
see. Waiting to see if they say something. I mean, not a fan of good old JR there in the middle, Jim Ross.
you know what? That's okay.
I
good
wouldn't
with
trust that Ross boss either.
That's yeah. I mean, look, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but most
We can't
people think
all
Puckett and I
age
are pretty
gracefully,
handsome.
chat. You know what I mean? I don't have the genetics for it. Still
Some of us just
Gucci.
appreciate the slightly doughy East Coast white boy. Others
true.
like this.
Which
slightly
one?
More tanned.
Which one?
There's two.
I'm saying.
It's in now. It's in now. It's in now.
Okay, so this has to be a rocket ban here from FlyQuest in theory. Okay, so they've actually no. This is crazy. Okay, so
well-
they're forcing an atom ban now, so they can get
Yeah,
rockets.
I was gonna say.
potentially.
Yeah, because
so
you have
funny.
to ban the atom, right? Wait, what is?
This is FlyQuest has been put in a really awkward spot here. What do you ban now? I don't suppose it really.
Rocket made it through. Punisher made it through.
Now that
you got Doom
Heller-
flying through the sky. What do you need to know?
I think Hella's more of an option now. I still don't love her against Ivis. Yeah,
Rocket.
so I love this. So now you have the Atom team up that you can play with. I really like how Shroud X did this. I was a bit surprised that they still protected the Iron Man after there was the Iron Fist protect. Thought that was like redundant potentially, but I love the Star-Lord protect. That is very clever.
How many different champions have we had here on Rivals Fight Night production? If we can get that thought together,
Crunch the numbers,
Shroud
Bruce.
X is one game away from holding the throne. It's week 10. It's North America on the mic. You have the legendary casters. You've seen them on Disney XD. It's Uber and Mr. X.
Oh God, we
That's
were on
true.
that channel, weren't we? That is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Wait,
we were on
Malcolm was
ABC.
too.
We were on Disney. I was on TNT. Yeah, you know,
I was
we're
on
just
Channel
doing it.
7, mate, Australia. That was a good time.
Do you have to pay
we
to be
really are
on
the
that
most
channel?
expensive
What's that?
casters in esports. That's crazy. Damn.
to
It's like
pay.
it's the channel in Australia that just runs How I Met Your Mother, like just wall to wall constantly. Like that and Big Bang Theory and maybe Family
Yo.
Guy. They just run those.
Lots
I mess with that channel. I would be
Yeah, exactly.
down.
That's
Give me
right,
that and a
7,
little Aussie rules football. I'm in.
Dude,
Oh, mate, we do that.
I think this is like really good because we saw Shroud X run this a little bit earlier, right? That triple strategist with Doom just buffed up on the Star-Lord. This was like a really good look for them.
So, Shroud X, yeah, get the cap out of the way, which is honestly really interesting. They can now, of course, go for this particular team up. It's one that FlyQuest don't opt for. They are not on the Adam Warlock here at all. Cooper is going to be on the Loki, which is a bit of a classic pick for him, if I'm honest with you. So this is fun. Again, Nuck is obviously the softer spot on this team and pretty dive susceptible if you don't hit that sleep. Sparkcheat, though, has got to respect this big damage coming in. They've already had to use their resilience before they dive in. It's not usually a good sign.
So like Nuck is an easy dive target, but like, do you have enough damage to go through the triple strategist to take him out? Like, I think that's like a realistic like answer, right? Like, you know, do you just have enough just damage output consistently with the Iron Fist and the Psylocke? No, Doom takes out energy off the rip, right? But to really put pressure onto Nook, I don't know.
A lot depends on vision and how many of these headshots are being hit.
But you also have the Loki, you know, the drones, right?
It's not even
Playing
that.
on top of the
I think
drones.
the soul bond is actually really important when
Yeah.
it comes to against dive comps because your opponents are trying to focus fire one target. Soul bond basically just shuts that down. So Adam is really good. You know, it feels like kind of weird against like some of these dive comps. That ability used at the right time is amazing for any burst damage or single target focus from your opponent. So vision is good for it. Karmic Revival already developed, by the way, which is amazing in one of these later fights. Probably won't even be needed. Light doesn't quite have Living Chi online yet. And Spark Shift is a little bit low. Has to get out.
Yes, I think it's going to be first checkpoint here. It's going to be very difficult for Energy and Crew to go on in as you see some nice uses of bulwarks there from Impunity. It'll actually be Evan Frost ult here from Vest. You can get, see, you can kind of track one of these players down, gets a target on one. Oh, but the Dogman from behind takes out Vest. Vision in the kill feed as well. So, man, this is Shroud X.
There from Nuckmat is really big in that moment.
Yeah.
See, like people kind of overlook the Mantis ultimate, given that overshield, but because Cap opposite is a similar thing, and maybe it doesn't seem quite as exciting. But it's overshield and health regeneration, so that lets you deal with maybe some of the less like burst-oriented comps. The damage over time setups, like you've got a pretty good answer there in the Mantis.
And you have like the what? You mean you have like 3 players who can self-res here? You have Vision now. With his ultimate vision, somebody you usually see play the duelist now, but you know, Adam Warlock, you can pump out so much damage, and the healing is not obviously it's like kind of like point and click, right? It's not, you know, you don't have to really kind of take much time away from doing damage to be able to do it. Is dude, Doomed has just been hunting down energy the entire time.
I mean, I like that. I feel like they're okay. Energy's gonna now go in, become invulnerable for a time. Feast of the Abyss used, but guess what? Plenty of healing there. Vision should have Cocoon Revival and get back to the fight here. It's unclear. Perhaps that already got popped. So Doomed at least can come back. And Galactic Legend off the rip here, Matt. That's crazy. Vision gets back into the fight. Does eventually Cocoon revive. Vision brought down a second time, though. And a nice little invisible barrier here being drawn up. It's going to be tough here for Doom to get as much as he was hoping to out of this fight. And Impunity, is he there with a bulwark? Just not enough damage here for Shroud X at this point. When this triple strategist
They're going to come back in, though. They're going to come back in with this Mantis ultimate. You're going to have the Mantis ultimate, and you're going to have the Emma Frost one here.
Okay, and now the defender's sort of running low on their strategist ultimates. Kubitastics now has just expired. Big slam, though, Dongmin. Just going to be bulwarked up, but the healing throughput, even with 3 strategists, is not enough to keep Dongmin alive.
I mean, that was one where it seemed like Shroud X tried to catch them off guard a little bit, right? And then kind of come back on into the fight. They did it like twice. So Dongmin now will end up playing the Strange. Is this trying to get like a TP going here, maybe behind, or are you just trying to use this? It's a little bit better shielding to kind of get through this area.
All right, 223. Shroud X stopped in their tracks there. As that Soul Bond to answer the dive. Pretty effective here, but of course Spark Chief can just circle back around and do it again. Karmic Revival at the ready. Here comes Doomed over the top. Okay, has to respect Spark Chief going in once more. Resilience surely available for him. Stunned up, hoping for a Feast of the Abyss real quick as Doom does discover energy. Poised and ready to go on in. Dangerous stuff now. Seduction coming in from Vess. Followed up with a dive. Good looks here for FlyQuest.
Huge.
They're putting this dive comp together really nicely.
Yeah, now Shroud X is at a really difficult time moving through this part of the map. That was a really nice knock up there from Spark Chief, following up Emma Frost ult, and now you kind of cycle back into this, right, where you have this dance of the butterfly here for energy. You have your invisible barrier, right? You're set up in a great spot here if you're FlyQuest to get another hold. Shroud X continuing on with this comp. Probably, you got like a minute 25. Not a lot of times you even make some changes out of this.
Rejuvenation Domain getting popped there now. Fidel this time on the low key. Energy of the dance of the butterfly coming in. What's the answer going to be? There is a soul resurgence. It's not quick enough to save Vision, but they'll be able to return themselves to the fray. Then have a karmic revival. Many lives available here for Shroud X. They're like a pack of cats, but they need to find these eliminations. Kubatastic does ultimately fall, but Invisible Boundary was thrown down by Zelos earlier on. Doomed stays alive. Blaster Barrage going to be used, and now Shroud X can start to take some space finally.
So now they're finally going to push FlyQuest back as they want to try and get this kill on the Spark Chief, and they do hunt him down. Trying to get out on the Venom there. Just not able to make it. So for FlyQuest, you ended up using a lot there, Mitch, right? We talked about how many good ultimates they had stocked up ready to go. They end up investing a lot of them there. Now they're going to be walking into this Eye of Agamotto potentially.
Impunity, tough to get past here inside this choke. Dongmin, like you said, will be waiting for everyone to move out. Here's a living chi from Light. It's time to go for it on the Iron Fist. Too much for Impunity to deal with. Absolutely overwhelmed by a flurry of punches and kicks. And Light is far from done, locking onto him one after another. Dongmin doesn't feel nearly safe enough to go for an ultimate. I can see why. Here's the Karmic Revival. Maybe a chance to crack back here for Shroud X. They get a second bite at the apple, so to speak, and there's Doom trying to get in. Best goes low, but does have that seduction at the ready. Zelos stunned up. Apparently by the Eye of Agamotto, looks like it. Yeah. An easy kill there. Doom able to punish Light, and that is a massive comeback for Shroud X.
The Eye of Agamotto as well stuns Zelos as he's chasing down Doomed, and Doomed is like basically dead. Just needed to make his way to the health pack to stay alive. Ends up getting it. So huge play there. Being able to use that Eye of Agamotto, Dongmin with a huge play on the Doctor Strange as it stalls out a little bit for Shroud X at the start, but then they start to get rolling on this comp.
All right. Galactic Legend. Locked and loaded for Doomed. Although, there's going to be an invisible boundary for both FlyQuest supports in this next fight. Energy gets picked off first, though. Okay, FlyQuest have to think about rationing this healing as much as they possibly can. Because Shroud X have bought themselves just free meterage with those pickoffs.
Dude, I mean, now, towards the end of this map, right? This is where this ultimate here from Star-Lord is going to be really difficult. Like, not a lot of areas to dodge here, and he's going to use it right around the corner. You actually saw energy there for a brief second, maybe seeing if you can kind of catch him out, knowing that he probably has a Dance of the Butterfly, needs to get inside that invisible barrier, barely does.
In the nick of time, Doom just says, okay, well, I'm going to start farming up my next ultimate, I guess. More Galactic Legends for me, he says. Here we go. Feast of the Abyss comes through. Fidel, yep, going to get taken down. No time to copy anybody. Get an ultimate out. Looks like Shroud X just concede that fight. They've got one more opportunity to come in. And honestly, it might be pinning their hopes again on another Eye of Agamotto.
Do they have a TP? Or is this... Oh, wait, hold on. So Doom's going to come back here. Is he going to be the one that's going to get a touch?
Yes, he can also start to back cap this. Surely we're paying attention. Yeah, energy well aware of it, but doesn't matter. Okay, two clipped by the young goat Doomed. Now that has drawn Spark Chief at least back. Doomed needs to find a way to get out. It looks like there was actually a Rejuvenation Domain shouldn't be required, but Zelos gets pounded again. Shroud X come out from nowhere and take a huge fight right in front of a key objective. Now they can push up. They hold the Eye of Agamotto. Karmic Revival at the ready. Doomed has another Galactic Legend. Everything coming up for Shroud X. Now they get a chance to finish the map in overtime.
Oh, I mean, he's got that damage boost over at the spawn door here, just trying to line it up. It'll be Light coming out of the spawn, using this ultimate, just trying to track down Doomed up in the sky. But Doom doing a nice job just avoiding some of that damage. Now it's going to be that Galactic Legend.
No counter for this really at all. No big strategist ultimate to answer it. Eye of Agamotto for Dongmin is big. It catches multiple players, and Spark Chief perishes in the ensuing maelstrom. Light eventually finds Doomed. Cart still needs to move a little bit further now, and okay. I think Vision was kind of hoping for a Karmic Revival there, had it interrupted. He'll be able to get back into the fight at least, and Light is finally down. That is a nuisance dealt with. Now comes back with the Cocoon revival. And here's Dongmin in the thick of things. Psionic Seduction comes out from Vest here. It's enough to actually bring down the Adam Warlock yet again, squishy as he is. It looks like Shroud X are going to run out of juice just before the final hurdle.
Oh, that got so scary there for FlyQuest towards the end. I thought the use of the respawn there from Doomed was really nice, being able to come back on that Star-Lord, because just kind of like waited it out almost till the end, and I don't think they had any clue where he was coming from at the time. And then gets that kill on energy. It kind of sends them into panic, so to speak, and then you're able to get a little bit more progress there. Nuck was doing a nice job trying to keep the Dell alive there towards the end. The Mantis and the Loki just kind of healing each other, but eventually they end up falling.
Really genuinely competitive game. I think you have a chance to see some of the drawbacks of the Adam Warlock, right? You know, it's great that you can bring yourself back to life on multiple occasions, but if Soul Bond's not available, you don't have any pseudo invulnerability, which can be pretty important. It's what Loki brings. So it's Fidel's obviously trying to make use of here. And obviously your healing throughput, even with, you know, your cooldowns being reduced by those critical hits, still doesn't really measure up, because Vision spending much of his time just putting out damage, a respectable amount of damage, but not even really at Vanguard level. So, you know, you do put a lot of faith, you pin a lot of your hopes on the Star-Lord in this composition, Matt, and to hope that, you know, someone like Doom can really take the game away. We have a DC here, so it should be a pause in a moment.
A quick reminder during the pause, Hexagrams is going sub for sub matching. If we get to a game number 5, all you have to do is cheer on FlyQuest. Currently need to push some cartage.
You know,
Matt, how
depending, I'm not exactly sure how much truth there is in that. Production did actually check.
Eagles won a Super Bowl. He's loaded.
They did actually check for you, Puckett, that we have seen 25 different ones, different heroes in NA today. So pretty good representation.
25.
Yeah.
Whew. That's a new record.
All right, name one we haven't seen.
Okay, you've just made that up, but yep.
Nope,
name one we haven't seen. Who have we not seen
Name one
today?
you have not seen. Groot. No, you actually saw
We
him.
did see Groot. We have not seen Human Torch in North America today.
Snuck through.
Mostly due to Shroud X.
We have not seen a Mr. Fantastic. Ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm
we have
surprised.
not seen Black Panther. Ridiculous.
No Black Panther. No Mr.
Magic?
Fantastic.
Oh, no, actually, we saw Magic in EU, no?
Magic was EU.
Yeah, Magic was in EU.
That counts.
No Magic.
That counts.
But not in North America. They're cowards. We
Storm?
saw
Storm?
Jeff the Land Shark.
Yeah, no Storm. No Storm.
Or Storm.
No Storm.
Yeah. Penny Parker.
Penny Parker.
Well, technically we did in the first series. All
Kinda.
Galia.
Yeah, we kind of did.
The nade spot.
Yeah, that actually counts.
Yeah, we kind of
Actually
did.
counts.
It's actually a very strong call out, Rich.
You know me.
Who else did we not see?
Match pause, player disconnect. Great fill time topic.
Squirrel
Chat
Girl.
you.
We didn't see any Squirrel Girl.
we have
Or
not
Scarlet
seen no
Witch. No Scarlet Witch today.
Not
No
yet.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Moon Knight's pretty strong.
Crazy.
No Black Widow or Hawkeye.
Honestly, there's a lot of heroes in this game already. It's kind of like that,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's why we're able to go up to like 3 ban 2 protect, because the roster is pretty big in Marvel Rivals.
Do we see
Yeah.
all the Vanguards today?
Yeah,
With
I
Penny
think so.
in the mix, and Cap
guess
has
if you
become a
count Penny, then
mainstay.
yes.
This may have been the first day of all Vanguards on
Oh,
our
look,
roster.
today we've had 31. We've had 31 heroes. So
We're
yeah.
back into the action, ladies and gentlemen, on the mic.
Oh, no,
Potentially the
Thor.
closer.
No Thor.
Oh, no Thor. I forgot about Thor.
All right, well, Spark Chief wastes no time in exchanging pleasantries. Could be a little dicey, but that's a little sassy barker, Spark Chief. That was pretty solo as well. I didn't know if there's like a plan that Light's supposed to link up on that, or you're just going in to start something up, but that is...
I mean, there's also
harebrained.
the damage amp there from the Star-Lord. And it's a lot of damage just in general, but then when the damage amp comes through, you're also able to chase really well on the Star-Lord, right? It's not like Spark Chief can just kind of get out, so able to follow it up just solo.
Here we go again. Soul Bond this time drawn out. That's probably the cooldown that Spark Chief was trying to get. We'll have it. Of course, in lieu of that, the healing of Adam Warlock, not exactly at the same throughput level as these other strategists. Oh, I like that. I think Doom must have had a sixth sense about that. Reveals energy while they were
Headphones are
invisible.
cranked.
Little spy check.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it costs you nothing to pop it there, I suppose. You're not really taking any huge risk. Here comes energy again. This time, going to be able to emerge in the back line. Dive is there. However, Energy doesn't really get to stick around, and Doom is chasing them down.
Yeah.
No health pack for you. This is good looks for Shroud X so far, but here comes a seduction.
I mean, I love the way that Shroud X is playing with this comp. I liked it a lot earlier when we saw them play it in their previous series, but then here now, Doom just doing a great job of like when he realizes that he has like Energy or Spark Chief like soloed, even Light as well with that damage boost, able to kind of follow up. And then look, I mean, now that you maybe go a little bit too far there, but you're
doesn't matter, right?
Cocoon, come back.
Nothing matters. Just come back. With full health, by the way. So good. And remember, this is all because of how the banner protect went, right? Because FlyQuest were forced to ban the Rocket Raccoon instead of the Adam Warlock.
So they've been constantly trying to go after these supports, but I just think there's just too much just healing output to be able to kind of, they've been doing it without ultimates, right? With just Spark Chief and Energy going in. Maybe now with the Dance of the Butterfly, you're able to make something happen, but I mean, it's kind of like your entire round's revolving around this.
The strategist ultimates are weaker with this setup, right? They don't have this easy AoE healing. So like Dance of the Butterfly, for example, is like a bit easier to get off. It's only Soul Resurgence that I think can really answer that. Karmic Revival already gets used, and that does bring Impunity back into the fight. They're going to be healed up and ready to rumble. Galactic Legend, of course, will get the Invisible Woman ultimate out of Zealous. So Doom now is just going to try and find a bit more.
Oh, nice job.
Yeah. Easy pick off there. Dongmin. Hey, Rejuvenation Domain's going to buy a little bit of time, but yeah, there's no respawn there for Doomed. They missed the window of Karmic Revival, Matt. So that is a long walk back for the Star-Lord.
Yeah, now, that's actually a nice Venom knock-up into the Dance of the Butterfly. Nook will actually end up using the Cocoon and come right back in, as it looks like they still want to continue to fight this, as it looks like you have your Armor Frost there. Actually, you're going to get the Magneto back as well.
Okay, well, it was a copied Soul Resurgence there from Fidel, so still getting some value from the Loki. And Kubatastic will be punished. Dongmin sends that Meteor M directly at them. A little bit low, though, is Doomed. Yeah, just caught up, Bez. I mean, Emma Frost completely works Doctor Strange in the neutral. Like, it's just not even funny.
You're now below 30 seconds here. I mean, it looks like you're going to be able to get this. Yeah, but still, a pretty good defense there from Shroud X, as they have really pushed FlyQuest here today. And then obviously on, match point here. But they have looked so good.
Okay, 2 minutes 40 to play. Again, it's a weird comp from Shroud X. Just because, like, the best, healing you have is from Soul Resurgence. Copying that, you get a lot for it, of course, like the staying power. But again, so much emphasis is going to be on this Star-Lord. Doom really has to carry this game.
I mean, yeah, he's like most of their damage output, right? And like intended to be most of their damage output. And up until this point, it is most certainly worked. I mean, look at this. What does Spark Chief do? He can't, like, typically that would be a position where maybe he would hold it and be able to kind of get some healing from a distance, but not able to do so there. Just gets chased up to the high ground.
Okay, Karmic Revival at the ready for Vision. Go for these resets, trying to connect them. Here comes the dive, and there's not much you can do there. Not even enough time for the Rejuvenation Domain, by the way, to be deployed to keep the Adam Warlock alive. So that's going to be the Cocoon Revival burnt already. There's the Dance of the Butterfly ready to come in. Combo there is pretty good as well. You saw the Venom dive in. Spark Chief's in the mix. Nuck taking down Vision. And yep, Shroud X's comp, despite having 3 strategists, is just too squishy.
Yeah, it's you still have the mag here, and you also have Dune that they're just kind of contesting it. So now the cart will get going yet again. Can Shroud X get another fight? It's kind of like what you're winning one more fight here, right? Sends us into OT, and I think you're in a pretty good spot there, because the ultimates you would end up building by winning this fight would be huge, right? You end up probably building a Meteor M and then other Galactic Legends. So we'll see, maybe you end up getting Cosmic Revival off here. Oh, nice damage. That's going to force out the lamps already.
Happy enough with that. Doing with a bit of Bulwark to make use of, but getting buffeted around. And one of the health pack, Light just backs away. Living Chi is ready to go. And he's going to pop it straight away. Who's going to move over first? Looking at an Impunity by the looks of things. Heading upstairs instead. Does notice, of course, Fidel, who has to run away, now has to pop their own Rejuvenation Domain and make sure he's standing inside of it as well. Good sleep on Light. That is going to be the Living Chi expired. Light not coming up with a result, but Dongmin was asking for that. He basically had a kick me sign stuck to his backside, and, well, Light will...
You're going to get the rest,
quite happily. Yeah, Doom and Dongmin coming back.
Yep.
Good Karmic Revival.
And like I talked about, you end up building up some of these ultimates during that fight, right? Doom's going to get a Galactic Legend here. So You're also going to end up with that Mantis ult. So with below 10 seconds on the clock, you're in a great spot here if you're Shroud X.
Time ticking. 4 seconds left. FlyQuest need to get more of the map done. Feast of the Abyss at the ready. Spark Chief will need to make use of it now. God, that was lucky. He hit the E just in time. Interrupted. We'll get some overshield from this, but now needs to get back inside the Invisible Woman ultimate. He does. Soul Resurgence active now for Shroud X. They are ready to rumble. Cupitasta's ultimate has expired, but Dance of the Butterfly at the ready. Big sleep. Big CC on Spark Chief. Does he have the resilience available? Here's that dance. Fidel ends up getting taken down as a result, but Dongmin is a Meteor M. This could turn things in Shroud X's favor, but they're losing players. Nuck, Cocoon back into the fight. Vision brought down again. Meteor M comes down. No touch. Another sleep on Spark Chief, but he is right where he needs to be. Keeps it going. Now the seduction. Spark Chief too low. That shield's going to erode. Matt Venom is going to go down. He pulls himself away. Vest TP's into the backside now. Vision low, taken down by the Maelstrom. But Doom's looking to get over towards the Loki direction. Where are they? He says. Somebody find me Cupitastic. And he does. Loki's out of the game. Light flattened there by the Emma Frost. And it's an easy cleanup for Doomed. Now, a bit of a celebration over the top. Blaster Barrage used. Good healing coming into the Star Lord. The investment is in the right place for Shroud X. And they will be your Fight Night champions. Coming out of absolutely nowhere. Taking all the marbles.
I mean, they looked awesome here today, being able to come in, run a variety of different comps, and specifically this comp here towards the end, putting a lot of resources, basically all of them, into Doomed on the Star-Lord, and he comes up big when it matters. As Shroud X, your champions this week, winning both games here. A really impressive performance against FlyQuest.
Fidel and Nuxter, awesome job on the back line. You saw Impunity doing work on the Vanguard. Doomed in Vision, though, caught everyone's eye towards the end of this game. And as we take a look at some of the highlights, I got to ask you, does it count if Mantis wasn't in the final starting lineup? Does it count as a Mantis map win?
Yeah, I'll give it. I'll give it. Yeah.
It's my first.
I mean, when you switch to Star-Lord,
a Mantis win. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, no, I think we've talked about it. It's normally in triple support comps. Those don't count. It's
have
never won. Okay. Sorry, back to the action here as you take a look at some dancing butterflies, little guys with yellow fists punching around. And then, of course, auto aim in the sky as Doom took over.
Dude, that Eye of Agamotto there was pretty nuts. That ends up, putting Zelos to the stun, and then that's able to keep Doomed alive. I mean, there's some crazy plays here.
Finding the Psylocke, I felt like Doomed was just hunting on this map.
Yeah,
I mean,
just
you have to, right? You are the only duelist on the map, and you're getting a lot of resources invested, right? You're getting every bulwark. You're obviously have the Cocoon Revival. Karmic Revival is also often being used to try and get the Star-Lord back in the game. There's just like a whole lot that you're playing around. So Doomed probably feels a lot of pressure here because he has to fight off two flanking duelists in a dive comp, which is scary. Now, at least Shroud X's comp is good at buying some time. There's like an initial rotation of cooldowns, like the Soul Bond, for example, like Knuckles dishing out healing. That kind of protects them. Also, the Rejuvenation Domain, right? So there are two cooldowns that give you pseudo, at least, invulnerability. So that buys time. But Doomed has to go and pop off. Has to 1v2 in a lot of these situations, even though he basically accounts for two heroes on his own. Does it make sense? It's a lot of stress, I think, for one individual.
But I mean, he's got a lot of resources to be able to go in and do some work, right? Constantly, obviously, getting healing over time, and then also like damage boost constantly. He's getting the bulwarks, right? So there's a lot that they're able to put into him to keep him upright and give him advantages. Still needs to come up with the kills, and always seems to be in the right spot.
I think if you're a FlyQuest fan, you're a little sad you didn't get to hear Energy popping off as much as he was last week. The hell kind of nullified by the compositions pulled out throughout the night. We were looking at some of the numbers. What was it? 31 different heroes were played on tonight's broadcast from EU to NA, 25 in North America alone. I love that people are still trying new things. The evolution is not done yet here in season 2.
It helps that Fire is like locking Hawkeye, and then I think I got mirrored against him in that game as well. So people are happy to experiment. I think we're in a good place right now. A big part of this is 3 bans, 2 protects. Like, we didn't see any Human Torch at all. If a team comes into a matchup and says there is one hero we don't want to play against, they don't have to play against it. Full stop. I think that once we have like other options and analogs for certain heroes, like more maybe in the hit scan role, for example, because we saw Punisher, there's Hela there, but like hit scan is a little easy to target right now, I think. But you know, we're going to see more of that diversity. So I'm really impressed with Shroud X, by the way. They come in saying we don't want to deal with the Human Torch, and then they have some great looks. They can play the triple strategist. There's also a bunch of other comps like at their disposal. I think these guys really deserve their flowers. They've been working hard in the last month or so.
And with
It's
the amount
time
of
for our MVP. Sorry to cut you off,
who is
Mr.
it?
X. Just talk about this guy. It's gotta be Doomed.
Yeah,
Show me.
Yeah.
Show me
In
the
this-
duelist of the day again.
In this series specifically, I mean, he was awesome from start to finish, right? And specifically that last map, the last like a few maps, right? They really needed his Star-Lord in these types of situations to get things done. He was really good on the Psylocke, right? We talked about time and time again, able to find supports on the opposite side. Just did a really good job overall in this series. I thought he was like a key difference maker.
I mean, like again, like they able to make great use of this Punisher comp. Like I just want to stress how sick the Banner Protect was from Shroud X in the last map. The way they set things up, putting FlyQuest in like a damned if you do and don't scenario where they have to decide whether it's Rocket Raccoon or the Adam Warlock that they get rid of. And this is why Shroud X are the better team right now, because they can play both comps and they win both comps in the mirror. You can't ask for much more than that. FlyQuest have a cute dive comp, and I say cute because, you know, Light can play obviously a bunch of different stuff. I thought the Iron Fist looked decent here, but dive isn't quite there yet, right? The fact that you have, you know, you can switch into these comps that have like, you know, free reses. Right now, the Adam Warlock team up is maybe too strong for dive to thrive. In the future, that goes away, and then maybe, you know, you get rewarded actually for investing heavily in that first kill, but not right now, unless you are banning that consistently.
Yeah,
They've only had this lineup for about 3 weeks, so keep in mind these are still young rosters. They will continue to evolve. Matt, final thoughts here as we wrap things up.
I mean, 3 individual reses plus a team res is extremely strong. Being able to use that, but overall on today, a lot of variety across both regions, EU and NA, and then also I think Shroud X is an awesome story, right? I know them being able to come in, taking out FlyQuest in the fashion that they did. Excited to see this team get better in the future.
Shroud X are champions of NA. Didn't see that
And
one
he
coming
wasn't
at the
even
start of your day,
co-streaming
did you?
tonight, bro.
Take a look as they take down Shikigami, our previous champion from 3 weeks ago. Shroud X takes him down with a 3-1. Then hands FlyQuest and L. Virtus Pro on the other side of things, taking care of business as usual. Thank you to All Business for showcasing your skills. And Al Katsia. We'll see you guys in a bit. On behalf of everyone behind the scenes, shout out to Mr. X, the United Caster Duo once again. You guys aren't done though. Where are you at tomorrow?
Oh,
and the day after. And the day after.
Where are we tomorrow, bitch?
So we have got the Marvel Rivals XQC Invitational tomorrow. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be on Felix's channel. Me and Matt are going to be there. It's going to be much in keeping with Rivals Fight Night, controlled chaos. So look forward to it.
Me and Mitch XQC TriCast going. It'll be a fun time.
That'll make
we get a
sense.
fun format. It's gonna be hilarious. Hopefully some great times. So yeah, make sure you tune in. It's gonna be on XQC's channel. You know where to find that, I'm sure. Hope you all turn up.
All right, we got some other special projects cooking up as well. If you want more news on what we're doing, make sure you hit that follow button before you go. We are live once again on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. We'll see you next week, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Bye, nerds.
Goodbye, everybody.
The shield explodes. The explosion in your own mouth. The bullets trace the opponents without thoughts. The clips continue. The Uber shouts. The X droughts. And your mother pouts. Rivals Fight Night takes a nap.
done good here.